Anyone up for some tea? We're
Oh
back.
dear Lord.
This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, oh my God. So how are you feeling this week, Rudy?
So, this is first of all, Luffy's here.
Oh
Hello.
hey.
This is another movie from excuse me, Full Moon called Magic in the Mirror. And believe it or not, this is another movie I watched as a kid.
Oh my God, that explains so much.
Explains that I'm weird or
Everything.
Everything.
it explains everything. Okay. So this is a very obscure film from 1996. It was directed by Ted Nicola. Now, this guy was actually super prolific. He directed mostly like horror, and his most famous like thing he directed is a series called Subspecies, a direct to
Oh,
horror video series.
Let's see. Did he also direct it? No, it was directed by someone else. Okay.
honestly,
It's the
hearing that
same.
he directed a lot of horror explains a lot of things
It
about this film.
really does. We're gonna get into it in just a second.
The movie comes from Moonbeam Entertainment, a family-friendly company of Full Moon Studios, and Jamie Renee Smith played the lead role of Mary Margaret. She reprised the role in the sequel and has been acting ever since.
Yeah, I actually like looked her up, and she'd starred in like a lot of television shows and stuff.
Oh wow!
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, it looks like she had a really good career after this. There's unfortunately not like a lot of information on this movie because again, this is something that wasn't by a big studio.
Yeah,
Um,
like it doesn't even have a page on Wikipedia. I mean, at least Pedostelia, granted, the entire trilogy was in one page, but at least was on a wiki.
yeah, so I decided I was gonna watch this the night before just so I made sure I could remember everything because we do not have anything else really to go on. Also, just thank you for Tubi for having this because I'm like I didn't know if we were gonna be able to find this, but thankfully Tubi has it. Um, so where do we begin?
Okay, so like
Um,
I actually also watched this today and took
Mhm.
notes on the plot points as I was going along. So I do have like a reference for the order,
Oh,
but
thank goodness.
my notes are also like littered with my own thoughts as I was watching.
Okay, so we start off with a girl named Mary Margaret and her
and
dad.
the sorry. Oh,
Gilbert.
her Gipper.
What a
Yes.
name.
Yeah, he seems to be a botanist. At least that's what I thought.
Yes.
And he with he's doing a drawing a daisy, and he refers to a Donna as Daisy because he wasn't paying attention to what she was saying about her imaginary friends.
Yeah, she got in trouble at school and her like it's interesting cuz he's drawing like a picture of a daisy and the voice like her voice like starts out muffled like almost like it's underwater far away and she was saying that she had like a disagreement with her teacher over her imaginary friends and I said he tells her that's nice because his ass was not listening. Is what
Hmm.
I wrote.
He's not focusing on anything she's saying. Um, and then these two delivery people come and they have a mirror, and we're then introduced to her imaginary friends, Bella and Donna. We'll get to them
Yeah.
again. Um, and it's also when we're introduced to her mother, and it is also pretty obvious that the mother is a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? Is it serious?
Serious, ambitious, maybe.
I guess
Uh,
ambitious.
like she's clearly very career focused and a bit more no nonsense, I guess, than like her husband and child. Like she's less she's more like not the type to play around and do like things like that.
Yeah.
I She's kind of mean at points.
Mhm. Really mean and a little she like okay. So what happens is Mary Margaret at school there's like a sculpture contest and she wins and it's actually a really good sculpture. I think of the vice principal or something. I'm not sure who it is.
Yeah.
And
The vice principal, Mrs. Mallard.
and
Oh
the
God.
okay, and here,
Yeah.
I found this kind of funny because
He
it was
had
like
no chance of that name.
all these like teachers like surround her and they're like laughing at it. And then Miss Mallard
Yeah.
comes in
She's
and
not
she
even
gets
popular with the faculty.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm like, what the hell did she do? We don't know, but then um but it is like, she gets I think sent to the main principal and he like asks her some questions like, what do your parents do? And she tells him and it's like, why did you make Miss Mallard a duck? And she's like, her name's Miss Mallard. And I'm like, she has a
Yes.
point.
There's also an exchange that I wrote down with the guidance counselor that I really liked.
Oh
He goes
yes.
he goes like, "Oh, your dad's like a botanist, right?" And she's like, "Uh-huh." And then he goes, "And what is your mom?" Like, oh no, first he goes, "Oh, your mom's a physicist, right?" And she goes, "Yeah." He goes, "So what does your dad do?" "Whatever my mom tells him."
That was funny.
Yeah, that was good.
So she's he arrives home and there's her mother isn't home and her dad's fast asleep and that's when and she finds his book of all the samples of fauna
Yeah.
flora she keeps. And let's see what else. Oh
And
yeah,
as
and then
she's
she
like,
finds sorry.
so she's turning the pages in the book and she ends up on a page and all of a sudden there's a gust of wind and she's talking to Bella and Dolly. She's like, you guys like these? And so she takes them and then oh, we forgot to mention, like we said, her mom is like a really, smart physicist. She's working on something called the doppelganger. It's a I'm not exactly sure what this thing is supposed to do. Did anybody understand what the machine was supposed to do?
Okay, yeah.
Um
Initially, I did not, but at the dinner, he explains it. And they couch it in a bunch of like kind of like sci-fi chatter, like we're scientists and we're talking about science. But essentially, it's supposed to open a rip in the space-time continuum, if only for a few seconds, so that we can see what is happening in other dimensions.
Oh, okay. All right.
and you can tell that the dad does not enjoy the company during the dinner.
Yeah,
And
he's clearly not a fan.
He
and the
also
mother
was like
wasn't
pointing out.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
And the mother wasn't and all was just dismissing of Mary, the prize, which
Um,
seemed to mean
I'm going to share a
Yeah.
link to my document so that
oh,
you
thank
guys
you.
can also see the plot line at least.
Okay. Ancient mirror. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that the mirror belonged to his grandmother,
Oh
Yes,
who was
right.
who she
Margaret,
was
who was
named after. Yeah.
also a botanist.
Yeah. So okay. So the doppelganger opens a hole, and again
Mhm.
now, so it's not so much that I think that the dad's unsupportive. It's just he's sort of like, have you guys thought of like the implications of this? Because
Yeah.
Apparently not.
and again, also I do agree. The mom is like seeming very rude and like not even admitting that her daughter won first prize, which again, really impressive. And her sculpture
Mhm.
is really cool.
Good. It's very competent, especially for her age.
Yeah.
She's like 8. Like
Yeah. But the mom's just like, whatever, darling. And,
Romance of
now
talking.
she said that like what, maybe twice, and it was starting to tick me off.
no,
And also,
she specifically said that they were talking about her accomplishments. She kind of acted like her daughter was trying to I don't know, like steal her thunder. It was weird.
it was really weird. And then,
We to backtrack a little though, we forgot that when Bella is like or Bella bleh, when Margaret is flipping through the dad's book. She sees a little plant with some berries.
Yeah, unique,
She
like kind of
Yeah.
goldish
Oh yeah.
berries.
Yeah, she takes the berries and she's
Mm.
kind of like in her room with them, and her imaginary friends, like she holds one of them up and the mirror kind of starts to like bubble. You can kind of like, she implies that her friends tell her it is the way home, and
Mhm.
then they seemingly disappear.
Now,
Oh yeah.
Margaret's sitting at the table, and she had brought a little like tea set and poured
Yeah.
some tea for Bella and Donna, and then she tells them to drink it. Now, we at first, you think that they're not real, but when you see the teacups just sort of fly off of the tray. Mary
Yes.
Margaret doesn't do anything, and they fly and hit Tuttle's wife.
Yeah.
And okay, so I mean, I understand why the mom does it, but like the mom just didn't even. So the way it works is like I don't even know if she was looking, but it's like you just saw that the teacups just flew. Mary Margaret didn't even touch them because
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
just fly and bloop.
Yes, and she snaps at her, and the man she goes to a room, and she complains about, I swear, this is her imaginary friends giving me nightmares. And the father makes a backhanded remark, well, you gotta have an imagination if you want to have nightmares.
Which
And
I
I
thought
kind of
was a bit asshole-ish, I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
well, it was assholes, but it just seems like the mom is so up her own butt.
Mhm.
I know that
Yeah.
sounds like mean, but it's like it almost seems like she doesn't want to have a kid, and it's like because she's also seeing. So this is something that does happen. Like some kids will have imaginary friends for a very long time, and parents will get worried. But I feel like Margaret isn't that old, and they're like, oh, she shouldn't be talking to her imaginary friends, but it's like she's not like 16 or something. She's still pretty young.
I think that like part of what the mom's concern is, and it's not actually made particularly clear at first, is that she says that she feels like the imaginary friends are it's fine to have them until they start interfering with like her real life. And like to an extent it seems like that is happening, because like she did have, like an incident with her teacher regarding it, and clearly like from her mom's perspective she just threw hot tea on someone, but she's also not listening to a damn thing that
Nope.
like Mary Margaret is saying.
She also seemed kind of. Did anyone get the feeling she was upset that really pretty mirror was gifted to Mary Margaret? Because unfortunately, the grandma Margaret died, and the mirror was willed to Mary Margaret, and the mom almost sort of seemed like she was annoyed or frustrated.
I wasn't totally sure. I think she did see it as an inconvenience, and she did not want it in their room. That was for sure.
I don't
She was
understand why. Because okay, we're gonna get into it, but it's like at that time, it's just
a
you know,
mirror, just a
yeah,
fancy mirror with like
really
uh
pretty.
lovely molding that's like plants, which makes
Yeah.
sense because the grandmother was also a botanist.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah, and
so
let's see.
and
Oh
so
yeah,
you
and sorry.
So this is when it starts to get weird. Of course, Mary Margaret is extremely angry. She, she goes upstairs. She says nobody cares, nobody listens to her. She takes her sculpture and she throws it at the mirror, but instead of it like hitting the mirror, it goes through the mirror.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and let's see. And yeah, I'm just going through it. And there's she goes to the mirror, and there's a sleeping guy with weird, like, almost horn ears.
Yeah, they're like very long elf ears, but they're pointed downwards. He looks like hmm, I said it was a funky little outfit that looks like a steampunk leprechaun. And that
Yep.
was the best I could come up with at the time.
It's a very busy outfit, and he has
Many,
a
many
hat
things are
too.
happening. That's where the
And
leprechaun thing came into me.
yeah.
It looks like a leprechaun top hat.
Yeah, so at first, she's, really confused, and then
Yeah.
she steps through the mirror and she wakes up the guy, and um his name is Tansy.
Yes.
And so I actually will say this, I kind of liked Tansy. I thought he was a very fun goofball character.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I actually think the actors in this, like, I have talked about this before. Sometimes we'll get something bad, and you can tell the actors in it are not like they just don't give a damn. But I feel like the actors in this were trying. I
I
felt like
found
they were.
a lot
Go
of
ahead.
the acting kinda heavy-handed, like, it was a bit over the top, but they were very clearly trying.
Yeah, like, and I think the person who played Tansy, I think he realized like this is a film for kids. I want to try to be like as entertaining as I possibly can. Um, but he does. He wakes up and he freaks out and he says, "Oh no, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna get planted by the queen, because people are not supposed to go through the mirror." And we find
Yeah.
out were they called? Mirror masters.
Yes, Mirror Masters.
Mhm.
He is, a like, a mirror master, like, he's a guard, and they basically, like, monitor and guard these mirrors, and, it seems that, like, Melliot, uh, who it is,
His superior.
yeah, his boss, essentially,
Hmm.
uh, like, busts in and is like, "Oh my god, what are the mirrors? They've been violated." And Tansy tries to hide Mary Margaret by sitting on her,
Dear Lord.
and
And
Oh,
he has
she
like his vest open, thinking it'll cover her.
but
God.
like
I forgot about that part.
all of that is for naught, because as soon as Melliot starts to kind of like tearing into Tansy, she gets upset and pushes out and starts yelling at him. Which in response, Tansy in the flurry just kind of faints with with his legs and his arms up in the air like a possum.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's like I've never seen a person actually faint like that. And also another thing is, so I didn't know this. Luffy, I'm so glad you did your research. But Tansy and Meliot are actually named after flowers. Tansy is a type of daisy, and Meliot is a clover. But also, they so so the mirror. So like Meliot's upset because an alarm went off. Like the mirror's been violated, and it has let through a people, not a person, a people.
Yeah, they call them people, a
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. And then okay, so then there's gonna this is again when it gets that even weirder. It turns out that there are a bunch of people. Well, not people. They're creatures called the drakes.
They're like
Because
plant people.
no, we're talking about the
Oh.
ducks.
Oh,
Because
the
see they
ducks. Oh.
because
Yeah.
see they see Mary Margaret's sculpture and freak out and call it Dragora, and they start to explain to her about this world. There's a bunch of other doors that lead to mirror rooms that
Yeah.
people have to protect, like people like us humans from coming in. And they've talked about the people called the drakes, who are duck people. They observe the plant people, fairies, whatever they're called. And
They that is one thing that I was a little frustrated with, is they never actually gave like the plant people race
yeah,
a name. So like I don't know what they are. They're just plant people.
they're not like okay. So when we say plant people, the reason we're saying this is because like they have flower names, but they also talk about being planted. But the thing is they're not green. They don't have leaves or anything. We mentioned like the ears. Maybe they were supposed to be like fairies or sprites or something, but they never explain that.
Or maybe
Yeah.
they doesn't have the budget to make them more plant and
Yeah, that could possibly be it. Because as we mentioned the duck people. Now, I'm gonna give this movie credit where credit is due. The special effects team did a really good job with these drakes.
Oh, they look horrifying.
Yeah,
I
they are
was
so
so
terrifying.
upset by them. I hated them immediately.
Okay, so here's the thing: is I remember watching this as a kid, but I forgot that the drakes. Okay, so the drakes are mainly the queen Dragora. She's obsessed with tea. The first time we see her, she's screaming, "Bring me my tea! This bitch makes tea out of people!"
Yeah.
Yeah, holy shit.
How the hell did I forget
Like,
this?
they have a giant tea kettle full of boiling hot water, and they start to lower this bag in that clearly has a guy in it because you can hear him screaming, and it is really fucked up.
Now, keep in mind, this is a movie for children. I really like movies. Cut to the most terrifying dead creature I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, like, cause see, the thing is like the queen really loves this tea, and like even before she gets it, she's like supposedly licking her lips. And it's like, no, don't do that, don't do that, stop. It's so unpleasant. But I want to say something here. So I'm a huge proprietor of scaring kids in media. Let me explain what I mean by that. Kids need to learn that the world is not safe. It is not always sunshine and rainbows. It is not a good idea to just teach children that everything's okay. That is why, like with Disney films, you know, death is not a stranger to Disney films. It's just because unfortunately death is something that happens,
Mhm.
and one of my favorite YouTube animators said, if we are never scared, how can we learn to be brave? It is important to teach children that fear is okay, that there are people in the world that are dangerous, that there are dangerous things. That is important. Like, there's a lot of fantasy stories, and people's like, oh my God, this was messed up. But it's like, yeah, but at the same time, it's important for us to teach kids that things are sometimes messed up in a way they can understand. And sometimes it's going to be really weird. However, there's a certain way to do it. This is not how you do
This
it.
I do have a few thoughts about both this scene and the drakes. I do want to note that the tea kettle essentially, if you're familiar in any way with this is going to sound very strange, but like ancient Grecian torture devices, there's either the brazen bowl or the bronze bowl, which was like a big bronze bowl that they would put a person in and then like set it on fire and essentially cook the person inside. And honestly, the tea kettle kind of looks like that, except that
God,
there's like water, and
Hmm.
it like it at least it invoked this for me. And I found the ducks horrifying,
mhm.
both in almost a campy way, but like there was clearly some limitations with the costumes and
Especially
Yeah.
stuff.
the
Like
big
they were
movements.
all you could see is their eyes, like the
Mhm.
whomever is like in those suits. And
Yeah.
like the beaks just kind of move up and down. There's no other like
Yeah.
expressions otherwise. Their movements are
Aside from the
really,
eyes, yeah.
really
So I
bulky. And
yeah,
my personal favorite aspect is when they go up and down the stairs, you can see clearly that the footage was sped up considerably so that they looked like they
It
were
was
moving
like
in a decent amount of
scene from
time.
a high Japan live action show like Power Rangers.
Yes.
Okay, so again, I think this is one of those things where I am gonna give them just a little leeway because I mean, we know this movie probably didn't have that big of a budget, so they had to make do with what they had. So I have a feeling that unfortunately they couldn't make the masks or the duckbills move that well. And
Mm,
also you have to like one of the things that I've learned about like a lot of a lot of behind the scenes stuff is there when like people a lot of people who have to like wear heavy prosthetics and stuff just they say it's like it's miserable. I never want to do it again. Like Alan Cumming when he played Nightcrawler in the second X-Men movie, I watched it and he said, "Never again, never
yeah.
again. If they want me back, we got to figure something else out because it would take hours for them to paint him." So
Yeah.
I think probably this might have been maybe it was the best way for them to make sure that the actors were comfortable. We'll never know. Um, but also, I think even though like the tea thing is creepy, and like that's her whole motivation is tea.
Yes.
Okay.
Turn people into tea. Oh my god.
I will say this. I also do feel like the people in the duck costumes were, again, sort of like, well, they realized what they were, and they're like, this is supposed to be a kid movie. Let's just go balls to the wall with it, because there's the admiral and one of her servants, and as Luffy mentions in their notes, so many duck puns. There's a lot. If you hate duck
Yes.
puns, you're not going to be able to get through this. Um, so you see,
I did like a plot most foul your quackliness.
Oh god.
I do think the actors were at least having fun. So there's that. So Mel, got Tansy, and Mary Margaret. We're hiking through the woods. It gets dark, so Mel makes Tansy watch first. And also Meliot's sort of, Meliot's much older, and he talks about how like, oh, mirrors are now so cheaply made, and I'm like, are
Yep.
they? I feel like if you're making a mirror, you want the mirror to be good, because if that thing breaks, but
I mean, like, I kind of understand what he's saying. The kind of like mass produced mirrors that like are in bathrooms and stuff now, they're hardly like fine craftsmanship the way that like those traditional mirrors with like the fancy molding and stuff used to be. Like, so I could see that being like a hang up of his. And apparently only those like fancy, finely crafted mirrors are like able to be used as a doorway between the worlds, which is interesting because a lot of the time when mirrors are an aspect in like a magical film, it's either, or a horror film, it's either like one mirror, that's the only one, or every mirror.
yeah.
So like I thought it was interesting that it was kind of like a middle ground.
I guess the mirrors had to be made in a specific way in order for it to work, possibly. Okay, and if you guys thought the plot was confusing, it's gonna get even like more confusing. So like Tansy is, kind of upset. He's worried about being planted. And then she finally admits she has berries, and he says, "Fibber, fibber, pants a quiver."
Yes.
Yeah, fibber, fibber, pants a quiver.
And then she dumps out the berries, but she sees that
There's only 3, and she had like 6 when she got in. And he
Like-
explained, sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay. And Chansey explains that one bay put a trip up, and that means she, along with 2 other people, came with her, but she insists that she went alone. So who could those other 2 people be? Well, 2 pink sparklers start flying around, and they transform into women, Bella and Donna. And they're sorry.
Yeah. Bella and Donna, I thought were very interesting. I noted like way earlier up in my document that obviously it was the plant theme and belladonna are
belladonna.
it's a hallucinogenic like plant.
What?
But
Oh my god.
Do you think they did that on purpose?
Probably, especially given what happens later. They actually mentioned that, but belladonna, aka deadly nightshade, is a plant that can cause delirium and hallucinations, and when consumed in large amounts, death. But I was their outfits.
Those outfits were confusing.
And and you also made a good point. I forgot their voices are clearly dubbed over.
Oh yeah.
I the way that like the mouths move versus the sound syncing is just completely off. Like,
so I think they took so the thing is Bella and Donna are obviously played by like girls who are a little bit older than Mary Margaret, but the voices I think were like adult women, and then they just either sped them up or made them higher.
Yeah, they might have pitched them up, but like they didn't make the girls move their mouths in a way where it would be like reasonable lip syncing. Also, their outfits were I said something along the lines of Swan Lake means Revolutionary era France because their hair is
Yeah,
like
the
piled up
hair.
like Marie Antoinette, and they
Yep.
have that makeup with the like little red like lipstick in the middle of the lip.
I think they might have been trying to go for like a Rococo look, possibly, but missed the mark because the outfits also looked very heavy. And so the thing is then Tansy's like, careful, Mary Margaret, they tickle. But then, see, the thing is Mel wakes up, he's like, what the heck is going on? But the two pixies disappear. Tansy says there's pixies, and then Mel's like, no, they're not. They're with the peoples. How? Y'all keep making stuff up and then not explaining it. How the hell did the pixies get on the other side? You said the only way for them to get through is with these mysterious berries, which they don't really explain. I think I remember in the second movie they explained them a little bit more.
So
Um,
my assumption, and I have not seen the second film. My assumption was that like way back when fancy mirrors were abundant and whatnot, there was also more berries, perhaps, and the pixies would go back and forth. And unfortunately, over the years, as those things like became rarer, they like were trapped on the other side with no berries to get back.
it seems well. The thing is like they say the pixies were all trapped. It's like, did all the pixies just leave?
That was what was very confusing. Like,
Yeah.
how many pixies are there? Why did they all go over there? Why can't people see them? I don't know.
And the thing is, and then also like the thing is it turns out they're real. It's like, so wait a second, do they only appear to children, or do they just can they not appear at, like, again, guys, if you're gonna make a fantasy whimsical world, you have to at least make the lore make some sense. Okay, it just feels like you guys were making stuff up as you went along. And
Yeah.
so then Mary Margaret calls for Bella and Donna. They don't return. And then, okay, so now every time I saw this I kind of laughed because I cannot tell how they were filming this. So we know, ducks fly. And a lot of
Yes.
Mhm.
times they'll fly in like a V formation. Have you ever seen like a Canada geese or something like that? Like they're
Yeah.
heading south for the winter. I am not sure how they filmed this because it kind of looked like they might have had the actors lying down.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
just kind of like flapping their arms.
It's still more convincing than Puma Man.
Yeah, so we see the drakes flying in this weird V shape, but again, it just, and like every time I saw they reuse the footage, but I kept like looking at it, it's like it looks like they're all lying down, and they either filmed them from above or something. It looks really weird.
It really does.
And so so earlier Mel had a duck call, and I guess they used this to be like to try to test to see if the drake's around. And the first time he used it, didn't hear anything. This time when he uses it, he hears it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it's the drakes!" Now Mel, I have to give him some props. He's like, "Okay, y'all got to run. I'll fight him off. Keep in mind he's very old, and there's only one of them." But
Yes.
he
This
decides.
scene is another one I would like to take a moment on because
Oh,
it was
sure.
very, very funny to me. The drakes, for some reason, have a net, and like these costumes were clearly impossible to move in because
Oh
Mel
yeah.
is just kind of like flailing around and like in place while they are all kind of like shuffling with this net because they can't move.
Just slowly get closer to him, even though he now has ample time to run. Because
One sec,
it's
my beast is getting into some nonsense. Continue. I'll be
uh,
back.
oh,
Oh, Jasper.
yeah.
Jasper, the corner.
Absolutely. As soon as she said her beast, we knew it was Jasper. Jasper is the beast. Dahlia's the sweet, darling little princess. But like, okay, back to this really weird movie. So I do like this really funny scene where it's Mary Margaret and Tansy are running, and he goes, "Come on, people, move your skinny little butt!" And then she like runs past him. He's like, "Hey, wait for me!" I don't know why I
Yeah.
found that funny, but so they're like, we want berries because of course the queen wants her tea, and if she can get the berries, she can go to the real world and kidnap more humans for her
And make
For
them
rookie
into
session.
tea.
for people tea.
Yeah, and then okay, so they tickle Mel, and he's like, it almost sounds like he's being tortured by the way they're tickling him, but
I mean, tickle torture is legit torture.
that is a true thing. That is an actual
And
thing.
it also, like, the way that Tansy spoke about it, kind of, he said that mirror masters are like especially ticklish. So, like, I guess,
Oh, okay, that would make
I guess
sense
this
then
is like a
maybe.
legitimate thing. I don't know.
Yes. So okay, so I have to say this. I think Mary Margaret's actually I think even though there's a lot of writing issues, I do feel like she's a pretty decent character. She's like, we have to go back for him. Tansy's like, no. She's like, yeah, we got to go back. He sacrificed himself for us. They could hurt him, but Tansy's like, yeah, but they could hurt us. But Mary Margaret's like, screw this. I'm going back for Mel. Um,
Yeah.
and they go and they're watching him being interrogated. And so the Drakes see something in a bush. And at first they're like, oh, hey, that's the people. They go over, but it turns out to be Bella and Donna in their little pink form. And they're like, pixies. And I'm like, are y'all afraid of being tickled too? Or are pixies like that dangerous? Because they all start freaking out and running away.
Yeah, that was not ever explained. They never explained why the Drakes seemed. I thought that would be like a plot. Was going to be like a plot point. Like, oh, the Drakes like are terrified of pixies. Let's use the pixies or something. But no, they just ran away. And we like that was never spoken about.
Again, you have to explain. Oh, this is a kids movie. It doesn't matter. Explain. There's so much going on in this film, and it is never explained, and it's confusing as heck. And then, but thankfully they managed to get Mel, and then out of nowhere we're back in the real world with Mary Margaret's crappy mom, because she goes to the room and she's like, Mary Margaret, I want to talk to you. And at first, for some reason, she doesn't open the door. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
She is at least respecting Mary Margaret's privacy, but it's like, I mean, you're her mother, but whatever. She snaps when she doesn't get a reply and says you can come out until you're ready to apologize. And I'm like, well, if she wasn't there, I don't think that would have made things better. Would have made things worse.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and
She also changed her outfit in that like interim from like dinner to then. She was in a like a white on white outfit, all of a sudden like a white on white number. And I was just like, girl, when did you have why? It's apparently late at night and stuff after your dinner. Why did you change to a whole new wardrobe?
Yeah. And I think, didn't she let her hair down too?
She did. She did.
She still looks like she's made up. I'm like, aren't you gonna wipe off your makeup? It's really late at night. Shouldn't you be going to bed soon?
Yeah, like she's still in full makeup with like a very bright red lip. Like that was very of the era. Like very 90s makeup. But like I just remember being like, that's weird. Isn't it late? Shouldn't you be late for bed?
Because women had to wear makeup in 90s movies.
All the time, even when it wasn't practical. So then,
Yeah.
She runs into the dad.
Yeah.
And okay, so I'm
I
gonna be honest.
believe Luffy had something to say about the dad.
Yeah, Luffy, take the floor.
Yeah, the dad comes up the stairs and they have this like they have a discussion, they have an exchange where like he's kind of like you know that we need to maybe talk to her like and respect her and stuff and she's like the mom's like no, I'm her mother, she needs to like respect me, and the dad's like yeah, but like we haven't been really respecting her and we haven't been home and we haven't paying enough attention, we've been neglecting her, maybe we should like do better. And it's just I wrote that it was contrived and his acting was very after school special, and it felt too on the nose. And
Yeah.
to me, it felt like he was about to turn to the camera and tell me it was a very special episode. And I just like, I felt like it wasn't like what you've been neglecting your child for how long. And now all of a sudden you're like, perhaps we have been doing the right thing and we have been, neglecting our child. Like they obviously just wanted to move the story along and not actually spend any time on that.
Yeah. It's too thick. They're laying it on really thick, and it kind of feels like they're hitting you like over the head. It's like, hey, 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 parents, parents, don't neglect your kids. Neglecting your kid is bad. It's bad. Don't do that. It's like, okay, we get it. We get it. We get it. Please, please, just be a little more subtle. And again, I know it's like people's like, this is for kids. Guys, kids aren't stupid. You don't have to like spell everything out for them.
Yeah. And I just felt like it didn't really address the dad's behavior.
Mm-mm.
Like it kind of just like put it all onto the mom. And like it it just really to me felt like it didn't really focus or spend much time on what the problem had actually been. And like like I said, I think they really just wanted to move the plot forward because the very next thing that happens is that Sylvia is like the mom decides she's gonna apologize. She goes and knocks on the door, but no answer. So she goes in and oh my god, Mary Margaret's not here.
But
And
she also sees the mirror.
yes, I was like, I thought as she was looking around the room and her child was not there, her level of like concern about this was way too slow to even kick up at all.
Yeah, like she was just casually searching for a lost child.
No,
No
I
emergency.
agree. And I'm like, okay, so here's the thing is, I think I mentioned this a long time ago. Little Rudy, due to her ADHD, used to wander off. And as a kid, I never thought it was a big deal. But as I've gotten older, it's like, I didn't realize, as a kid, that it's not a good idea for me to just wander off. However, as an adult, I realized why my mom was so freaked out. Because my mom would freak out almost every single time I
Mhm.
disappeared. Because it's like, what if somebody took her? Eh, Mary
Yeah.
Margaret's mom is just like, because the thing is, she goes to Miller. She's like, Gilbert, Gilbert. I'm like, ma'am, your child is missing. She could have been abducted. She could have been out
Yeah.
a window. Why are you acting like it's just like, has anybody seen the dog or something like that? She's acting way, way too casual about this. Because if it was like this, I don't know. It was very, it's very, I feel like I don't know what's going on with these two actors as the parents.
Yeah, the parents were repeatedly far too sedate in their especially the dad. Like the mom was very slow on the like freaking out in that scene, but the dad didn't even like do anything. Your child is not here.
We cut back to the Drakes and they reused the footage to make Dragora more tea again. I felt like that scene was kind of pointless.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was yeah, she's
Yeah.
kind of like, let's go get the child and the berries. And I was very confused as to why, like, when did they even go back like to their castle? Why did we cut back to that? Like and okay, so this next scene really pissed me off though.
Oh.
They we saw the drakes flying overhead and one of them drops an egg and the egg falls with like a bomb sound effect like you know and like for some confusing reason to me I could not understand this at all. Mel, uh Tansy and Mary Margaret are all like, oh my, where did that egg come from? They start like, who could have laid this? And they start like approaching and I'm like, there's an evil race of ducks. Why are they fucking with the eggs?
No, I was like that too. I'm like, why are you going closer to the egg? You know the Drakes are after Mary Margaret. You guys are idiots. Oh my god. And then
Baffled by
the egg cracks
yeah,
and it's some
it's like
it
a
releases gas?
yeah, it's like a gas of some sort. They say it like smells like sulfur,
Ew.
but like it doesn't exactly emphasize what the gas does. we don't really like see, like, I don't know if it's a knockout gas or poison gas or what. It's just an egg, which for one, some reason did not break on impact, despite the bomb sound, and two, we don't really know what it did.
Yeah. And so they managed to, kidnap Mary Mar. Okay, wait, no, actually it goes back to the parents, and they're
Yep.
like, "Oh my gosh," that because they see her sculpture, they're like, um, "Hey, that's Mary Margaret's sculpture. Our
Yep.
daughter is in there. Hey, I'm gonna call my coworker Tuttle and have him bring the doppelganger." And I'm gonna say that actually makes some sense because at this point they don't know how to get into the mirror, and it's like, well, I mean, the
Yeah.
doppelganger could possibly help.
Mhm.
Um, but the
Which,
dad
like,
mentions,
the whole point of it being apparently to like rip, into the space-time continuum. Uh like so I yeah, it makes sense to me that she would think that that might work.
um, and then so we're then back. Now the dad does mention like grandma said something about this mirror, but what was it? And then we're with Mary Margaret and Dragora. Dragora took the little pouch Mary Margaret had, and of course she's gonna turn her into tea. Tansy and Melilot are being guarded, so it's like they can't, do
Yeah.
anything. And honestly, again, I remember watching this as a kid. I'm like, did this scene upset me at all, or did I just sort of accept it as because it was a fantasy world? I have no idea, but it is like really genuinely upsetting because Tansy and Melilot can't really do anything. They don't really have any powers, so they
Mhm.
feel helpless. But then it gets even sadder because in the tea bag, the pixies come and they're like, "We have to leave you now, human." And I'm like, and I do remember this when I was little, but basically Bella and Donna sacrificed themselves to save Mary Margaret.
It
They
took me a minute to realize that that is what happened because, like, first they're like, we understand you don't need us anymore, like human. Where you can like go forward. And then they said they enjoy a nice hot bath. And that confused me a little bit because they like transported her out of the tea bag. But when they said that they enjoy a nice hot bath, I thought maybe they were immune for a second. And then I was like, no, wait, they just kamikaze themselves.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Oh God.
Mm, yeah. So yeah, like basic again. This now again. People like Rudy. You just said that Disney talks about death and shows death. Yeah, but not like this.
Not like medieval torture type of death.
And it
Yeah, I sacrificing yourself for another character is not like a plot that never happens, but I did think it was wild, like kind of out of place.
like okay, let's like give a good example of this. Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He doesn't have another like suit for himself, so he saves Peter and he tells him, he may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy, and he apologizes to Peter for not being a good father figure, and he dies. And then Rocket called the Ravengers to let them know Yondu had passed, and he gets the funeral that he was going to be denied. That is a great example of a sacrifice.
Mhm.
Bella and Donna are not established enough for us to care,
Yeah.
Yep.
and we don't really know the relationship with Mary Margaret. It's like it was like it
They're
felt
just like
so
imaginary
pointless.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that the entire nice hot bath line what made it kind of confusing and obscure at first whether or not they were dead. And I have other complaints about this later, but I will wait until we get to that part of it.
Okay, so now we know from like what we've been told is because so now you mentioned that belladonna, that's a hallucinogenic plant.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if I think they might have done this on purpose because see what happens is So the queen even takes a sip of her tea, but she mentions she's like, "This is not the people tea I remember." And then all of a sudden, she
Yeah.
slumps over. Her guards collapse. Her admiral passes out. Her servant slumps over
Yeah.
too. They all pass out because
Yep.
apparently pixies make the drinks sleepy.
I
Oh,
my assumption was, yeah, that like, because when Mary Margaret kind of I just put in my document a lot because it was easier than typing out Mary Margaret a million times. But she like pops up and Tansy and Mel are like, oh my god, and she explains that Bella and Donna sacrificed themselves. And Mel is like, oh, that's like belladonna, is a plant in our world. It's a like a hallucinogen or something. And Mary Margaret kind of acknowledges that like it's also a plant in the human world. And it was just kind of like kind of glossed over. The fact that like these characters just died and
It's like,
everybody
who gives a shit?
like no
Even they
point
know that it's not consequential.
does Mary Margaret like cry over these characters or like get like genuinely upset, and they were apparently her only friends. Like I think it's baffling.
Oh
And
gosh.
so like Mary Margaret comes and she steals back the berry pouch, and
Oh,
for
obviously
some
tries to.
for some reason the queen has like a moment of lucidity despite being like conked out like 2 seconds ago, and is like, go, but like I also thought this was very funny slash confusing, but the guards in are like ducks in like like armor, and they're chasing the three of them outside, and they during this sound exactly like Donald Duck.
Yeah, there's a few times where they make those noises.
Yeah, like it's not like a duck noise, it's a Donald Duck noise. Like,
Surprised Disney didn't sue.
but like is what confused me. They then just stop chasing them. And just kind of like shrug it. Like I don't know if they were just like, fuck it, I don't want to run anymore. Like it was not explained.
they really don't explain anything in this movie. So they then cut to the mom and Tuttle again.
Yeah,
Gilbert
they
is still
now
thinking
have
about the
Tuttle.
queen.
He's got the doppelganger, and they're like they're doing a bunch of sci-fi talk again. She's typing in the little computer and like setting up the laser. They're firing up their lasers. But just the one laser.
Yeah, so then okay, so I actually also found this joke funny. Dragora asked, "What was the name of the first human we ever had tea? Like whoever we ever made out of tea?" And they said it was Earl Grey. I'm like, okay, that was funny.
Yeah, I thought that was clever.
Okay, so they're looking for, or okay, now this is when it gets even weirder and even creepier. They reach the garden where the queen is. The queen, I think, has like probably the worst design and outfit out of everybody.
Yeah, it's the most
Yeah.
boring.
Dragora's outfit looks much better than hers. Like her royal outfit looks much more interesting and appealing.
One of the things that I thought was also really weird about this scene is as they're like coming into the like winding garden, it's almost it's almost evocative of like entering the Queen of Hearts's like, hedge maze
Oh
thing.
yeah.
But
Into the roses
it's
red.
lined by a bunch of like, I'm assuming soldiers, and they're dressed in, if you've ever seen a soldier in those like that green camouflage where when they hide in like, I don't know, the woods or whatever, and they look like they're covered in, plant matter or whatever, a bunch of guys dressed like that. And I thought that was a really weird choice.
The
But I
queen
just
also, her actress has given her, trying to think, give her like a British accent or something. She's trying to do something, and she sounds very. She almost sounds like she's sleepy.
she has like not only does she not she sounds kind of haughty, but at the same time, not only does she like she has no expression. Her face doesn't move at
It's weird.
all.
It's creepy.
The entire time. And I also noted that her whole like outfit, which is kind of boring, it's really just like kind of flowery, a little bit like the Pixies, but not it's not really interesting to sight. It's also completely white, despite the fact that she's Queen Hyasop, and Hyasops are notably purple.
I went to look up a high top, and I'm like, it looks like they didn't even take any inspiration from the flower whatsoever.
Yeah, like I don't know. I thought that was weird. Like I didn't understand. The queen is probably the most vexing character to me in this whole
Oh yeah, even more so
film.
than the villain.
Her
Mhm.
entire arc is in this like latter half of the film is incredibly confusing. So basically, like they come up to the queen. Mel starts to like tell like the story, and she cuts him off. She already knows everything, and she's like, "Look, Melia, like you fucked up. Essentially, you will await your punishment. Tansy, you may like attempt to defend yourself." He starts to do so, and then she's like, "Meh, you will await your punishment, and you're both going to be planted." And Mary Margaret's like, and starts like arguing with the queen that basically she's a shitty ass queen. She says she's no different than Dragora. She doesn't listen to like anything that like Mary Margaret is saying, and she's actually like just super pedantic during like the entire discussion. She's like, "You're as bad as Queen Dragora. Dragora is not a queen, and you should care more about your people. They're not people. We're not people, or whatever." Like, it's like, girl, you're just being an asshole, like for no
Yeah.
reason.
And then, okay, so we find out what it means to be planted. And also, I kind of also really feel she was being extremely harsh on Tansy and Elliot when
Yeah,
this whole thing, I don't think any of them planned for, a person to come through the mirror. Because, the berries, from what we're understanding, they're either extinct or you can't find them easily. They
yeah.
didn't know that Mary Margaret's grandmother had some and saved them. And so, yeah, the whole
Well,
thing
they
is,
did know Mary Margaret's grandmother. Tansy does mention the nice
that's
old
right, she does.
lady on the other side of the mirror. However, they didn't even know she died or anything. So clearly they weren't like in like a constant communication with her or anything like that. So yeah, it doesn't seem like they knew that the berries were in a place that was accessible.
Who? Okay, so let's see. And
Yeah, they're
uh,
planted.
like turn into little plants.
Yep.
And let's see. And so, but she gives MM a deal. She stops the Dud Queen from entering the mirror. She'll pardon those two.
Yeah, which
Oh,
I thought was kind of out of nowhere. Like she was just kind of like, uh, she turned them into fucking plants, like trees with their faces in the middle, like motherfucking Willow in Pocahontas, and then was like, "Oh, actually, if you could, prevent Dragora from escaping, then I'll let them go." Like, weren't you just talking about how they had to be punished like less than a minute ago because the rules or whatever? Like, girl, I just don't understand the queen's like twists and turns or like fucking mood swings. I don't know.
Yeah, this queen does not make a lot of sense. She's very contradictory.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any that didn't make any sense to me. We cut back to the um the like the mom and Tuttle are setting up the and this is another complaint I have because I just think this suit was very silly. Like like they're setting up the laser, and the mom goes behind the mirror, which apparently, why did none of them think to do this?
That's a
Like,
good point, actually.
it just to stabilize it. And this poem that the dad has been like searching for is just, it's like taped on the back. It's not engraved into like the mirror. It's just a piece of paper with the edges burnt with the poem in fucking calligraphy taped to the back. And the dad goes, my poem, essentially, and like makes the connection about the berries super duper quickly and like runs to his steady to go find them.
Okay, let's see. And I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, she approaches them. So tries to shot into the mirror, and the ducks follow behind her.
Yeah, they're like flying above, tracking her.
Oh yeah, and sorry,
Yeah. Nah, go ahead.
goes to the mirror to grab. Oh, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. And she arrives, and the German scientist is
Tuttle.
Tata starts to fire the doppelganger, but the mom wants him to stop since she might hurt but he
No, not
refuses.
like
I'm sorry.
that hasn't happened yet.
Oh crap!
The first thing that happens is we cut back and forth in this, like there's like a lot happening at once. Gilbert's searching for these berries, and Sylvia's like, we need to wait before we, like fire it. And he's like, if we do that, the laser's gonna fucking overheat and explode. And as Mary Margaret comes into the mirror room, her mom sees her and is like, oh my gosh, get out of the way of the laser. But we realize that like you can't hear each other on either side of the mirror. So like it's not as though Mary Margaret can hear what's being said. And this scene was also very, very funny to me. The dad is like, he's trying to find the berries, and the berries are 3 pages into his goddamn book. And it's taken him like 10 billion years to flip through this book. And then somehow, right at that moment, like he grabs the berries out of the book and he trips, drops them all, and there's a conveniently placed grate on the floor that a bunch of them fall into, except one, and he's not going he's moving it like so slow towards this thing. He's in slow motion while everything else is happening. And that's when Sylvia has the argument with Tuttle of like about them, like, oh, you could hurt my daughter or whatever. And as like the whole thing is like about to like go off, she like kicks the laser out of the way, and it just like explodes the wall.
Yeah, and and let's see here. Yeah, so the Dragoa and those other dogs start fighting with and I'll just stop them from crossing over. And she does that, and somehow, despite being a kid, she managed to successfully fight against all of them. And
Yeah, she throws her sculpture at the one, and she like hops on the back of the other. She bites the one's wing. She's like holding off these 3 gigantic duck monsters, and she's very teeny. The dad, like right as Sylvia fucking like kicks the laser out of the way and busts their wall, runs in with his single fucking berry, and Tuttle, the other scientist, is like really pissed off about this all of a sudden, and it's basically like, your sentimentality is getting in the way of scientific progress.
That's
And,
her point, dude. What is wrong with you?
it has like the weirdest face heel turn and threatens them to shoot them with the laser.
you see, United States government, this is what happens when you hire scientists who are formerly of the Nazi regime. Yes, that's a real thing that happened during the Cold War.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. I actually didn't know that. But yeah, like the parents are going back and forth with Tuttle, and in the background you can just see like Mary Margaret fighting with these goddamn ducks. Um Gilbert attacks Tuttle and like throws him onto the bed, and he doesn't put up any resistance. He's just like, oh, like
No, I'm 9. I'm a German scientist 9.
little German boy, no. But like right as Dragora is about to like enter the human world, she's coming like into it. Sylvia fires up the laser again and tells Mary Margaret to move, and then is like,
No,
I'm gonna
specifically
prepare
tells her to duck.
to duck, and then she said she's gonna prepare some roast duck or something like that, and she
Well,
shoots her with the laser. And this was also very confusing to me because Dragora disappears, and so the other drakes like run away. And my assumption was
she
that
got disintegrated.
no, my assumption was that their machine worked and she got sent to a different dimension.
Oh,
Like, but later we find out that that's not what happened, like at all. So where the fuck did she go for that like short amount of time? But like, yeah. So the mom like walks through the mirror. She grabs Mary Margaret, and then Mary Margaret in a scene that once again belies no urgency is like, actually, mom, we can't go back. We don't have the berries. Like
oh my God.
her mom just goes to grab her, and she's like, "No, we can't leave."
And you just see the father just stand there awkwardly in the back in the mirror.
Yeah, because again, you can't hear like either side, and she just kind of looks at the dad, and if the mom just kind of looks at him, kind of like forlorn, a little forlorn, and he's just kind of like, what? You can see him saying, "What, huh?" Like,
Yeah, he doesn't seem to understand what's happening. But then they go out, and the queen's there. And we mentioned this, like the queen's like just is very flip flopping in her personality because now she's like all proud of Mary Margaret.
yeah. All of a sudden, she's incredibly proud of Mary Margaret and said she knew that she was a good person because her great grandmother was. And we're like, and it's like, huh? And then it is randomly revealed that the great grandmother Margaret was a mirror minder on the human side. And now she's like, you, small child, will be a mirror minder on the human side. And then, even more confusingly to me, Tansy and Mel just pop out of her carriage. They're no longer mother willow trees. They're back to normal. Like, none, like, that all happened off screen, I guess. And that was so confusing to me.
Yeah. Again, they don't really explain anything in this movie.
Yeah. And so, like, yeah, Mary Margaret's like, we can't go home. We don't have any berries. And then Hyssop out of like nowhere is like, actually, when Dragora was fleeing or whatever, I grabbed these two. There you go. And then in what is the most insane exchange, she tells Mary Margaret's whole ass mom to quote unquote to look after her because Mary Margaret is very important to her. And Sylvia is like, yes, to me too. Like, one, Queen Hyssop, you've known this small child for like 5 minutes. Two, you were an asshole to her for 4.5 of those minutes. Three, that is her mom.
So again, like I said, I used to watch this movie when I was little.
Oh yeah, and Dr. Tuttle's crying about how the discovery of the century is no longer in his grasp, and how he
Yeah.
learned, and the parents tell MM that he learned that love wins out of a science, which I thought was a dumb line.
That whole exchange when the um like they come back and they're like, yes, well now she's a mirror minder or whatever. We'll have to like that's what the queen said. And the dad's like, the what? The queen? And the mom's like, it's a long story. Girl, you were in Mirror World for like 3 minutes. Like,
Yeah, she was
and
barely in it.
and he's like, I guess we'll just have to, like learn like do the stuff like and learn over us like dinner and stuff. Like you could tell me the whole story because now all of a sudden he cares about listening to his child. And like I don't know, the mom we get a cut to the mom like they're turning through the plant book from the start and uh all of a sudden now they're like pointing out the earlier foreshadowing where like, oh, it was a tansy, it was Amelia, like Amelia, And then as they turn to the page where the mirror berry plant was, the dad's like, and now all the mirror berries are gone. And also, I made your favorite for dinner, roast duck.
Well, duck
And
is very tender.
and I put in parentheses after the mirror berries are gone, they're in the vent, idiot. They all fell down the fucking grate. They're in the vent, you loser.
Okay, so we find out that Dracoa is still alive. She's all bandaged up. And she says, oh, I want revenge. Get me more mirror berries. And then it cuts to the basement where we see either a broken pipe that's dripping berry water onto the missing mirror berry. Open back a sword and it starts growing like, yep, that's secret abating all right. And oh yeah, oh god. Yeah,
Yep.
I know this movie was stupid, but that's what makes it so hilarious.
It was very funny. I thought that at times it was very, very funny. I thought that all of the acting kind of sucked a little bit on the part of all the human characters. I did think the ducks were very funny.
Yeah, there's just like a dime store knockoff of Labyrinth almost.
A little bit, yeah. Like
Mhm.
because like we did have an exchange with, like when they came back, the mom says something like to her daughter, like, oh, and Bella and Donna are welcome anytime. And she's like, oh, mom, they won't come anymore. And she doesn't sound fucking sad about it. Her mom's like, oh, sorry to hear that.
They've been boiled alive.
Like nobody's sad about these two pixies who were fucking boiled to death. Like
It's again, it's this is not a movie you're watching for like, good acting, a good plot or everything. It's very campy in a way a lot of modern films are not. And it kind
yes.
of like again, this is like I said, the movie's not perfect, but I kind of miss having movies like this.
Yeah, so do I. I can agree with that. Like
It's just
made for TV kind
Creates a
of
video.
yeah.
I miss
It was
it.
something that lived in like a middling budget where sometimes you would get like fucking instant classics, whether that be because they were so bad they were good or because they were genuinely like a diamond in the rough, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I miss that. I feel like we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, it sort of sucks. It's just it feels like we lost something really fun and unique. And again, like this movie's not going to win any awards, but it's like we've been doing this for about 2, 3, maybe 3 years, and we've watched a lot of really god awful stuff where it's like it was not just bad, it was like insulting on some levels, or there was something very problematic with the storytelling.
But just downright boring.
Yeah, this was at least interesting. I had fun with it, and like I said, I think like Tansy and Melilot, they were like, let's at least try to give like a decent performance, And I think also just with we're like living in this age where there's a lot of like remakes and reboots that where they don't put any effort into it. It's like, at least this was a unique story.
Mhm.
I was just about to say, at least this was like original in what it was trying to do. Ducks that are obsessed with tea, sure, why the fuck not? Like,
Yeah.
I just like I think that part of the problem with all the reboots and shit is that that's like they put all these money into these multi-billion dollar, like IPs, and they don't want to take any risks with any of these mid-budget or lower budget films. And so these silly gems like this are so few and far between.
Yeah. So this was it was something, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was fun. It was silly. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but like if you're ever bored and you want something to watch, you can go to Tubi and find this and have some fun. So I'm going to at least give this, I think I'm going to give it like a 3.5.
Give it a 2.5.
I'm
Okay.
also going to give it a 2.5.
All right. So now we're going to get into the news. I will go first, then Luffy, and then Jad. And I'm trying to do this thing where like we put the sort of sad and unpleasant news at the beginning.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
That's fair.
I am not surprised this happened with the movie coming out, but
Definitely.
so the Michael Jackson estate is once again facing sexual abuse allegations from 4 siblings who claimed they were groomed and brainwashed by the pop superstar.
Why am I not surprised?
Okay, we're all like making sound frustrated or like, oh, why are we not surprised, guys? We've been talking about this for years.
Like,
Go ahead.
and I was looking at like some of the quotes and like comments and stuff that were on people talking, because they were also talking about the fact that amidst all of this, the expose documentary, Leaving Neverland, was pulled from
Oh,
basically
yeah.
every like streaming service.
Oh my God.
And there's still comments that like we've been talking about this for ages, but there's still comments that are like, he was acquitted. None of this happened. This is all just trying to, frame a famous black man. And
I'm so tired, y'all.
yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. I mean, I'm good. There's probably going to be some people who have no idea what we're talking about, but Michael Jackson, it's probably one of the most tragic stories of like a famous person just having their life like fall apart and then making things worse. Because what happened is, I can't remember exactly when the time period was, but Michael Jackson, when he started to have like was it vitiligo that he
Yes.
had?
He has vitiligo.
Yeah, he started to lose the melanin in his skin. And I'm not sure if that was when it started or okay, it seems like it started around in like 1993 when like the first allegations came. But it said that somebody said that he sexually abused 13-year-old Jordan Chandler, and
Yep.
then it just continued to pile on. And it wasn't a thing where it's like people thought it had happened. There was legitimate proof, and there were victims who came forward about the abuse. It's been very frustrating because over the past few years, a lot of people have been trying to, I guess, deny this happened or trying to say it was some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like smear campaign or something.
Yeah. And like some of those allegations, like they try to bring up, well, some of them like took it back and stuff like that, as if it's not like a huge, trauma to go through this. And a lot of them, like, if you ever had the chance to see the Leaving Neverland documentary, there was a lot of complicated feelings involved. A lot of them really loved Michael, and like it was very hard for them going back and forth on this, and like because you can love your abuser and it becomes complicated and hard to recognize it for what it was. And you can doubt your own recollection. Traumas fucked up like that.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
this happened to a lot of children.
Yeah.
So of course their feelings were going to be confused and complicated. And so yeah, like I knew this movie was going to dredge up a lot of this. It's just very
Mhm.
frustrating that we're still dealing with this and we're still dealing with people who either don't believe the victims or think the whole thing was fake news. So
Yeah, I think they still pulled that Michael Jackson episode of The Simpsons from Disney Plus. Like, it's not on there anymore.
yeah. It's just it's too risky. He's too polarizing. It's and again, it does really suck that he became this terrible, awful person. Despite, I mean, after everything that happened to him, he became an abuser himself, and that's just
Sad.
yeah. Okay, Luffy, you got this one next.
All right. The next one is, I'm assuming, the Mr. Beast thing.
Yep.
Okay. So Mr. Beast's company has been is being sued by a woman who is alleging both like sexual harassment and verbal abuse. She filed this lawsuit, and the company has since come out and released, like, Kotaku published this article, and the company's like, no, look at these Slack like messages and stuff. She's exaggerating. This is just a clout chasing campaign. And like the claims are that she has made was that there was a essentially a company handbook that both contains the phrases "no does not mean no."
Oh God, forgot
Ugh.
about that.
And
Ugh.
like,
I'm gonna be sick. Ugh.
essentially let boys be boys. And some of like the like the PDF that was released of this, like, it is the most insane thing I think I've ever like seen. There, for one, like, it looks like it was just typed up in like Google Docs or something. There's like spelling errors, there's like miscapitalizations everywhere. There's weird comparisons to like it does not look professional remotely.
Yeah.
And
It,
go ahead, sorry.
See, it doesn't seem like the handbook was even like looked over by anybody. They just made it and they were just like, yeah, that's it. So
Yeah.
that's not really a good sign
So
at
like
all.
she basically said that when that the previous CEO James Warren of Beast Industries, or whatever it's called, Beast Incorporated, like, she asked why she was never allowed to meet with Mr. Beast, and he made some sort of weird comment like it's because she's a beautiful woman and her appearance had a quote unquote certain sexual effect
Oh,
on Jimmy.
No,
And-
no.
Oh God.
No.
And like she said that she was told to shut up and to stop talking a lot, and that like she witnessed when the execs were mocking female contestants on Beast Games when they like didn't provide them with the fucking, the scandal where they didn't provide them with pads and shit, like, and she also claimed in this one, this is crazy. In November 2023, Mavromantis, I don't know how to properly pronounce the last name, Mavromatis, formally complained about the situation to the company's head of human resources, Sue Perisher, whom the lawsuit claims is Mr. Beast's mom.
What?
Holy shit.
Oh god. Okay, so Mr.
His
Beast
mom!
was already having issues because like 5 other people are currently suing him.
Mm,
This is not going to help at all because like you mentioned how like the sanitary pads thing, that's part of the other lawsuit.
yeah. And the withholding meds and shit like that.
That is okay. Yeah, so Mr. Beast has been sort of spiraling in a way. People have started to realize he's really not that great of a guy. He doesn't care about people. Like Jacksepticeye said he never really liked Mr. Beast, and people got mad at him, but he was right. Mr. Beast doesn't really care about entertaining people. He's like, he just wants to make content to make money. And there was a lot of issues behind the scene of the show he has with Amazon. This lawsuit is not going to help matters. Like the fact
No,
that
not at
5
all.
people were already suing him, but now he has this.
Yep.
Oh God. Yeah.
Like,
Jesus Christ.
he's repeatedly just run into, people would like shout you down because like, oh, he's done so much charity and stuff like that. You can't be mad at him for like, this other behavior. When like one of his more recent like videos that people thought was fucked up was he, pulled a guy that he would like pay him, I think it was like $100,000 or something if he lost 100 pounds in 6 months. But that 6 months, he had to like live in isolation on like the Beast compound or whatever. And during that time, the guy's trainer, the guy like who Mr. Beast had hired to, like train him, suddenly died. He had like a heart attack or something. Like he passed away very suddenly.
Oh my God.
And Mr. Beast essentially used this for clicks. Like he like had some random PA tell the poor guy that was like the starring in the video essentially and had like they had cameras at the gym and stuff, and they used like the footage of him like crying, and it was just a mess. And like, yeah, I don't think he cares about people or charity or anything. Everything is really just extremely exploitative and gross. And it wasn't until all this shit started happening that I even learned who Mr. Beast was.
See, it's weird because Mr. Beast, despite being so unbelievably popular, a lot of people still don't really know who he is, which I find kind of interesting. But like, honestly, I'm not surprised this happened. And again, it's like, this is also going to help the other lawsuit as well. So it's just, I'm not surprised. I'm actually kind of surprised that so far he only has 2 lawsuits, to be completely honest. So I don't know. This whole
assuming he
thing
probably paid out a lot of people or made them sign just like disclosure agreements that they couldn't sue.
Maybe. Who knows? It's just right now, it's just, honestly, I had a feeling something like this was going to happen. He's been spiraling recently, and I think it's just only going to get worse for him.
Yeah,
Can happen to a worse person. All
with
right.
his dead eyes.
Yeah, and his stupid smile. Ugh. Okay, so this is bad news, but also technically it's good news. Jad, you're next.
Okay, David arrested for murder of Celeste Rivas. Holy shit, I never even heard this guy until now.
Yeah, I didn't hear about this until all this came, but apparently, David, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, was arrested by Robbery Homicide Division for the murder of Hernandez and is being held without bail. So, from what I'm understanding, there was this young girl named Celeste Rivera Hernandez, and she went missing from her home in California. And the last time she was seen was in April 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And she apparently was living at David's house. And the more I learn about this guy, the more disgusting he becomes. But it almost seems like he was teasing people about her murder and maybe thinking he wasn't going to get caught, but he ended up getting caught. They found her body in a car that had been in a tow yard for a few days, and it led them to him, of course. And so he just now got arrested, and some people seem shocked, but it's like the evidence against him is overwhelming. So thankfully, this young girl and her family has gotten justice.
Yeah, like holy shit. I hope he never gets out of prison.
Same.
Okay, and I think this is you, Luffy.
It's me.
Rudy.
So,
like your names, both your usernames ends with a Y. Sorry.
So, Jad and I have been talking about the potential Warner Brothers and Paramount merger. Now, a lot of people have been upset about this, but I want to talk about it. So the Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders approve for the Paramount mega deal, but they vote against exit pay packages for Zaslav and other execs.
So he's
Now,
getting no golden parachute, which is a silver lining.
about time. This dude has been getting it off way too easy. So
Mhm.
if you guys have not been listening to us, or you've been living under a rock, Warner Brothers is in massive amounts of debt, and Paramount
Has some
wants
debt
to
of
buy.
its own.
Yeah, and they're also in debt, and they want to buy Warner Brothers. And now people don't like this deal because David Ellison sucks, and he's a humongous supporter of Trump. So him controlling more media is not ideal. But the thing is people like, oh, they approved it. It's like, that doesn't mean it's officially approved, because it's got to go through a bunch of state regulations, as well as not just like the United States. It also has to be like okayed by like the United Kingdom and stuff like that. And the thing is as we mentioned, with the debt that Paramount has, um, it doesn't, like, I don't know if this, even if this deal does go through, it's going to be like a nightmare for them. But like almost everybody is fighting against this. There's a petition of like 4,000 people in Hollywood who are against this. The mayor of New York has spoken out against it. Multiple politicians are saying they're going to try to stop it. They're looking to sue Paramount so they can delay the deal. So like either way, this deal is just
Like
cursed, it seems.
Like
Yeah.
Larry Ellison, David Ellison, I should say, is arrogantly saying they'll get this done by September, which is like bullshit. Cause apparently he's promising that for every financial quarter they don't get this deal done, he'll give one of us like 600 million or something.
Where's he getting that money, though? Is the
It's-
question.
He's the nepo baby of some big tech mogul who has an AI startup.
Yeah, but it
Ugh.
seems like he's not even getting money from his dad, because what happened is did he have to like borrow money from Saudi Arabia?
And China.
Yeah, and it
Ugh.
wasn't even enough to cover the debt. And like, I think what people don't understand is that eventually the money is going to run out because he's not paying them back. He can't pay them back. He doesn't have the money.
I mean, it's like, it's the same with all these like AI startups and shit. Like
Mhm.
they just, they're basically going on IOUs. Like the future investment's going to be really good. So you should just keep giving us money now because maybe it'll pay back properly someday.
Yeah, and that's kind of why a lot of these AI companies are not doing as well as they want to. And it's like, again, this whole thing, it's just, even if by somehow the deal does go through, first off, people are not going to want to work with Paramount. A bunch of people said, like, I will not be working with Paramount if this deal goes through. But another thing is, like, Ellison famously said, we're going to do 30 movies in 1 year.
40.
How are you going to do that? 40?
Yeah,
40
that's a
movies in
bullshit.
a year?
Yeah, that's bullshit.
That's
Me
a
when I
million
buy-
times
Movie
Yes, that's
theaters,
not
a lot of the
possible.
movie theater owners are not buying it at all. Like, they're convinced that they're going to use this to speed up their streaming and outputs, and that they'll be left in the dust.
But the
It's
thing
like
is-
either there's only like two ways that could possibly be achieved. Either it's just not, or they work these people to the bone. Like, and that's not great either. So
This
And one
isn't
friend of
going
mine, sorry.
No, you go ahead, Jed.
And a friend of mine is really upset how they just folded Nickelodeon Animation into CBS Studios.
Mhm.
So Nicktoons are now just name and only instead of being an actual animation studio.
This is okay. So here's the thing: is that in order for them to make 40 movies a year and for it to be a good business venture, they would have to make sure every 40, like all those movies, would be hits, and you can't guarantee that.
yeah.
It just this entire thing is such a cluster. It seems like such a disaster, and honestly, I think I kind of had a feeling that after the Disney Fox merger, that mergers would not be as easy to happen, just because I think people originally didn't think it was a bad thing. People didn't understand it, and it's like, oh wait, now it is a bad thing. But like this whole thing, it's it's going to be a train wreck. Because here's the thing: is Warner Brothers, despite the hits that they have had, that's not enough to save them, like at all.
Mm-mm. Especially with the linear TV networks consistently losing money.
This whole thing is such a mess. It's entertaining to watch, but it's also kind of depressing at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Especially
like-
how many people are going to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
That depresses me deeply. Along with just like the fact that most, like, both Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, they barely even play anything outside of like SpongeBob and Teen Titans Go respectively in
Yeah,
the
that's
first
because
place.
kids moved to YouTube and Netflix and
Mhm.
Disney Plus for their
It's
fixed
just
animation fix.
such a mess.
Yeah.
Mhm. See, I kind of had a feeling something like this was going to happen. Like, I feel there's been a definite push back against billionaires from people like us, but I also feel like eventually the way they've been running business was going to just not work as well as it used to, you
Mhm.
know? And so unfortunately, I think this is something that has to happen. This like disaster needs to be seen so people can finally wake up and be like, we can't do this anymore. So it
We
just again, what you say?
we need monopoly laws again.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think unfortunately this is the thing that's gonna make us realize we need them again. But unfortunately, there's gonna be a lot of people crossing the crossfires. So yeah, just for now we have to we're just along for the ride.
And
All right.
you're up next, Luffy.
Okay, this is not letting me open it, but the link title says Has Been Hotel greenlit for a 5th and final season.
Thank
And this
God.
is confusing to me because I thought they just did season 2. So what do you mean
Yeah, it was
season
also greenlit
5?
for season 3 and 4, and like
Apparently
like
5.
yep, they said that the 5th season is going to be the final season because they only planned it for 5 seasons.
Oh, really? I'm
See.
sharing
Yep.
a link to an actual article about it in our chat so we can have something
Oh,
to
thank
actually
you.
look over.
Okay.
I'm gonna let
Okay.
Jad take over.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
now
perfectly fine.
now, on the one hand, I wish I had more friends who could be as excited about this as I am. But on the other hand, I get so much laughter and joy from hearing you guys complain about it and how much you hate these shows. I just don't know who I am anymore, you guys.
I just am kind of surprised that they're canceling it after. I mean, if Viv said, "Oh, I only want to do 5 seasons," I am kind of shocked that Prime is letting her do that. I would feel they would try to pay her to get her to do more seasons since it's so popular, but
Yeah, but apparently this is all she has planned out, and I give them this for at least respecting it instead of just milking it.
it is very shocking. I seriously would think that they would try to be like, we need to try to get her to make more seasons, but
like apparently they're making like actually working on a miniseries called Phobia, which is gonna
that was
be
based off her discontinued comic.
Webcomic.
yeah, which is actually gonna be aimed at a general audience, unlike her other work.
Wasn't it?
Wait, what?
Wasn't it
I'm
the kinkiest of all of them?
Yes,
Wait, what?
There was literally a robot in them named Tentadora with tits the size of like inflated tires.
oh shit. Apparently I just made an assumption since I haven't actually read Phobia or seen that short. I don't know.
listen to anything.
I haven't
don't know
either,
shit.
but like I had seen it spoken about by other people apparently. Like,
So I'm sorry, the laugh. It's just I can't imagine her actually making a show that's.
yeah, I honestly kind of can't.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
But Honestly, eh, I'm not. I mean, I'm kind of interested to see how the show fares after it's over, because I don't know. It seems sort of Did they only mention Hazbin Hotel? They didn't say anything about Hell of a Boss.
The first half of the third season's coming this fall, and the
Okay,
rest in sometime in 2027.
so they don't have a date for that one. Interesting. Okay,
They did release a teaser trailer for season 3, though, of Hell of a Boss.
we're moving on.
Okay, and I know you'll be excited about this, though, Ruby.
Yes.
Full list of all the songs coming to the Rock and Rolling Coaster, starring the Muppets.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see. I cannot wait to ride this roller coaster when I get a chance. I'm so excited, guys. Mhm.
Okay, so for those of you who aren't obsessed with the Disney parks like I am, the Rock and Roller Coaster was a launch GeForce coaster in Disney Hollywood Studios that first opened in 1999 and was themed after Aerosmith. Then it was like a high-speed ride. Either way, you're just trying to get into Aerosmith's show on time in a super stretched limousine, which is supposed to be the roller coaster. And just drive by a bunch of highway signs like you're in LA. But the contract with Aerosmith expired, and instead of renewing it, they decided to retheme it after the Muppets, most particularly the Electric Mayhem,
Woo.
the
I
rock band from
see.
the show.
That
Oh,
kind of makes more
and
sense.
it gets a whole new pre-show with Muppet animatronics. That's with the Electric Mayhem, and find you to the music concert. And let's see, we got 5 different songs that will play on the ride. We got song 2, oh, Born to Be Wild, featuring Camilla the Chicken.
Hmm.
Love Roller Coaster, featuring Jennifer Hudson and Love Crest. Rock
Ooh.
Rock Till You Drop, featuring Dep Leppard. And Walking on Sunshine, featuring Kelly Clarkson. And
Oh,
at the end of the ride, it features the band performing their original song, Can You Picture That, from the Muppet
Ah,
movie.
love that song.
Yeah.
cool.
So I do remember, I think the person who's like currently in charge of Disney said they do want to do more stuff with the Muppets.
Yeah,
And it,
Josh DeMarlo, the
yeah.
CEO.
Mhm.
Like, he was spearheading them to do a lot of Muppet stuff, not just in the parks, but with the promotional material on social media.
So I am happy to see that, but also I feel like having the Muppets have a ride makes a lot more sense than Aerosmith, just because while Aerosmith is a very iconic rock band, they haven't been that relevant for like
Mhm.
the past maybe 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, the ride opened up in 1999, so it's been
They're
a while.
also not like a Disney property. So like that
No.
having like a ride at Disneyland is a little confusing to me in the first place. But
It also
what do the children love at Disney? The Aerosmith ride.
that's yeah, it felt like such an odd choice. And like if you're
Yeah,
gonna
like,
do a musician at like a park, it's like, wouldn't you want to choose someone who's a little more
yeah, like,
family friendly?
yeah, like this. The whole point of Disney Hollywood Studios originally was it was supposed to feel like you're in a studio in LA, but they started moving away from that theme in recent years instead of being a mismatch of different Disney properties.
Hmm. Okay. Next up, we're all, I think, excited for this. I
Uh,
didn't want to watch this because I wanted to watch it while we were talking about it. So,
oh, hell
uh,
yeah!
Coyote versus Acme now has a trailer, and it has actually been doing very well. It has gotten 8 million views in like 3 days.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Um, and this
and
movie has had such a troubled production.
it
It
really
really
the,
has.
has.
Truly, truly.
hey, I'm really excited this is finally being released after all the. Okay, let's watch the trailer first, then I can talk about. We can talk about it. Wholly
So
owned subsidiary of the Acme Corporation.
Acme sucks.
are you gonna share your screen or how are we doing that?
Oh, I
Oh,
thought you were
Watching
watching
it
it on your own.
individually.
You can just watch it. Yeah, we do a thing where we like just watch it individually.
Okay.
Oh
Okay,
my
you
gosh,
watching it?
Porky.
Yeah.
Poor Porky.
Mm.
I still don't understand why Warner Brothers scrapped this.
Yeah, Looney Tunes have been getting that shaft in the past 20 years. Not even James Gunn on being attached to it was enough to convince him not to write it off.
Still just doesn't make sense. Why go through all this trouble to make a movie and then just not release it?
It's like the equivalent of buying out a big insurance policy for your house, then burning it down.
Hmm.
Well, Forte.
Oh,
John
dang.
Cena.
Tweety's
Oh
packing.
yeah, he's the lawyer for the Acme Corporation. I'm
Ah,
excited.
bags.
Mm, mm.
I cannot wait. This movie looks like it's going to be really good.
I know. Oh god, I remember when in that part of the trailer when Falcon Lincoln was threatening John Cena's character not to let anything bigger be made public. One guy in the server I'm in, he asked, "Wait, is Falcon Lincoln in the Epstein files?"
Oh, God, no.
Oh god. And yeah, so the production of this one was quite tumultuous. Like it was announced back in 2022 with James Gunn even and being attached to write the story for it. And yet in 2023, after the this merger with Discovery closed, Warner Brothers just decided to just write it to just destroy the film for a $45 million tax write-off.
Same they
And
made it with
that
Bad Girl.
Yep, and people were really pissed about that. Not just as people attached to the production, but Looney Tunes fans and even Hollywood actors and directors who even started contacting their agents, telling them to cancel all meetings they have planned with Warner Brothers. So, after the controversy, Warner Brothers, in an attempt at damage control, tried to say that they were actually going to sell the distribution rights to the film, with potential buyers like Paramount, Amazon, and even Netflix lining up. However, Warner Brothers wouldn't let sell the distribution rights for anything lower than $75 million.
Jesus.
Yes, and so it was in limbo. Like no one knew if this film had been deleted or if it was actually coming out. But then earlier this year, a smaller company, Catch Up Entertainment, who bought the distribution rights to the fully animated Looney Tunes film The Day the Earth Blew Up, announced that they bought the distribution rights for Coyote versus Acme for $60 million. And now and it was coming and it's gonna be coming out August 28th of this year after so much us waiting and protest and anxiety everyone's been feeling about it.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of feel like maybe the way they treated like both the day the earth blew up and Coyote versus Acme might have been a signal to them sort of, I don't know, falling apart in a way. I don't know. It's just I
Mhm.
feel like this sort of caused a lot of issues people had with the company to become even worse. Because like you said, a bunch of people were like, "Yeah, we don't want to work with like Warner Brothers and everything." So I don't know. I just again, I still don't understand why you would go through the trouble of making a film and then just not releasing it unless something really, really bad happened.
Yeah. It just it it's like the concept of the producers, like the stage play,
Yes,
except
exactly.
and they're doing it, you know, to something that included like just so many hours probably for those animators and stuff. I don't know. It's poopy. It's poopy of
Yeah,
them.
but I'm glad it's getting released now.
Me too.
And you bet I'm going to buy a ticket for this.
Oh, same. I can't wait. All right.
And
So
Luffy, you got this one. I think this might interest you.
I'm so excited for this.
Clayface?
Hmm.
Yes.
All right. Well, uh Clayface. I don't know much about this movie. I know it's a
Okay.
Batman property.
I'll explain it because Clayface is one of I'll explain, like, the history real quick because Clayface is, like, one of my favorite Batman villains. So
Go for
Clayface
it.
was an actor. He got into an accident on the set of one of his, movies or shows, and it caused him to have scarring on his face. He's like, "Oh, my career is ruined." Now, usually what it is a company was like, "Hey, we have something that can fix your face. You just have to help us out." But the problem is the stuff that he used, it didn't last long, but he also became addicted to using it. And the favors he had to do for the company were not very on the level favors. He had to pretend to be people to cause issues, like
Mhm.
to frame them. And then what happened is later on, like in the Batman animated show, what they did is like they force fed him the stuff that he was using. That's usually it's either that or he was like given an overdose. And the thing is, this
Mhm.
the product he was being given was helping him mold his face. So when he got the overdose, it just turned him into basically a blob of clay, aka Clayface.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and this film, it's going to take place in the same universe as Peacemaker and Superman, but James Gunn made it clear that it's not a superhero film with horror elements. It's going to be a full-on body horror.
Yay!
And it makes sense. This is a perfect character to do it with because in like every adaptation of Batman, when they have Clayface in it, it's disturbing. Like, because it's this man whose body becomes this strange goop that he can use to like change his face with. Like I think probably like one of my favorite iterations of him was in the animated Batman series. He was voiced by Ron Perlman, and it's very disturbing because you're watching this actor start to sort of deteriorate. He's going crazy. He's having these outbursts, and it only gets worse when he becomes Clayface.
Mhm.
So again, this is like a really good character to do a horror kind of movie with because of the character himself and how he becomes Clayface. So I'm looking forward to this.
Like, did you
Yeah.
ever thought DC Comics would ever be doing a full-on horror movie? I love
Oh,
it.
yeah, I love it too.
Very nice. I appreciate
Okay.
that from them. I hope that they continue push uh to push like boundaries like that.
Yeah, push what a comic book movie can do.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
let's see. Oh yeah, and this one's mine. Shrek returning to theaters for 25th anniversary.
Woo.
Yeah, I'm starting to love how these
Nice.
series are starting to do re-releases now.
Same. I love it.
Oh, that reminds me. They also said for the 25th anniversary release, some movie theaters are going to be getting a collectible popcorn bucket. And
Ooh, fun.
let me hang on a second. Ah, crap, little mouse. Okay, let me get a picture of it and post it in the chat real quick.
I have a distinct feeling it's probably AMC.
Oh my gosh, Skylar Sondo is going to be in the new Shrek. My
Huh?
favorite. I was just
Oh
looking at
wow.
this article.
Okay, I actually really like the popcorn bucket. It's shaped like Shrek's outhouse from the beginning of the film. That's perfect. But
Bye.
okay, so I think it's suffice to say we all grew up with this movie.
Hmm.
It's a fucking classic, man.
I don't care what
Oh,
anybody says. I adore this film. Um, and this was DreamWorks, I think, first 3D animated film.
I
They
think
had
it might
done,
have been.
yeah, like they had Prince of Egypt, and
yeah,
now this.
I haven't been
And
able to
and
ever watch Prince of Egypt a second time. I hear it's very, very good, but the first time that I saw it in theaters, I had food poisoning.
oh no,
oh
And,
no,
that's
and so
terrible.
I just
like
have like a very bad association.
I think the people behind Wicked actually composed the music for Prince of Egypt.
Mm, I think so. So this was a massive hit when it came out, and I think nobody really expected it to be. But the thing is that it was sort of like the anti-Disney film in a way, where it wasn't about some handsome young man; it was about an ogre, and about how he sort of he seems like he's this like mean guy, but it's just he's actually really very lonely, you know. And this was also, I think, if I remember correctly, see, DreamWorks was originally founded by Jeffrey Katzenberg,
And Steven
and
Mhm.
Spielberg.
yes, and the villain Lord Farquaad, I think he was based off of Michael
Michael
Eisner.
Eisner.
Yeah.
Yes.
um, but yeah, like again, this was a film I don't think anybody really expected it to do as well, and it has become like I think probably DreamWorks' most famous film.
Mm.
It
Yeah,
has
I
been
would agree with that.
Mhm. It's, like, regarded as one of the most, like, influential animated films of the 2000s, and it also was selected to be in the Library of Congress not too long ago, you know, being, like, considered culturally important and relevant. And, like, the thing is, like, there's a lot of memes in regards to Shrek, but those memes do not affect the quality of the film. It's still fantastic, you
Well,
know?
we even referenced the memes in the teaser for Shrek 5.
Which I thought was, like, really funny. It's like, "Hey, why don't we reference some memes?" Like, embracing the meme culture. A lot of movies and, like, companies don't do that. They, like, try to ignore it, but they're like, "Yeah," like, they don't really seem to care, I think. They're just like, yeah, people make memes, but yeah, who cares?" Like, I think they get it. So and, like, the thing is also this is one of the few franchises where I think all the sequels are actually good. Like, I think the second one is actually pretty good. The third one's not perfect, but I still thought it was pretty good, and the
I
fourth one was surprisingly good.
I'm like I believe that the second might even top the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people like think that Shrek 2 is possibly the best one in the franchise, but how could
Yeah.
anybody hate Holding Out for a Hero
Oh, yeah.
with
The soundtrack, it
like
introduces us to Puss in
to
Boots,
put
and he
like
became his own character. He got a spin-off. He's got 2 spin-offs. So it's
Mhm.
just like it's very hard for a franchise that started out in like early 2000s to still maintain its relevancy and be cherished not just by the people who grew up with it, but even by a newer generation. Because there's a lot of stuff I feel like, you know, we remembered fondly and then we return to it, it's like, oh, this is not good. This does not hold up. But this has managed to hold up since 2001. So I'm very excited. I actually probably will go see it again in theaters just for the heck of it because I have not seen this movie in a while, and I miss it.
the only thing you could maybe argue that hasn't held up is the fact that John Lithgow is in it. And
Eh,
since his
Ah,
fucking behavior with his new
boo,
role in, you know, the HBO franchise and stuff. But
boo.
he plays
at
the
least he's
villain in
only
it.
in
So
the first one.
yeah, at least he plays Farquaad and
Mhm.
Yeah.
he's hateable
Oh
through
yeah.
and through, and like through and through in this film. So
Farquaad is such a villain.
Mhm.
You love to hate him.
yes.
Okay, so now I think I remember adding this. So I thought this was interesting to add. So like for those of you who are not aware, I you know, used to work at daycares, and so I read to the kids a lot. They would be like, "Do you guys, who do you want to read the story?" And they're like, "Miss Rooty." And so there's a very popular children's author named Will Williams. One of his most popular books is "Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus." It's extremely simple. There's a pigeon and a bus. The pigeon wants to drive the bus, and it's very.
Nice.
But the kids love it because it's like very quotable. Because like it's like
Mhm.
the pigeon's just like, "So hey, you gonna let me ride the bus? Let me ride the bus." And at the end, he's like, "Just let me ride the bus." Like the kids
Mhm.
just love to quote him. And he also has some other series. Well, they are going to be making an animated series based off of his books and starring Neil Patrick Harris, Titus Burgess, and Ellie Kemper.
Ah,
I'm
crap! It's
excited.
on
I'm
Paramount Plus.
excited to see Ellie Kemper and Titus Burgess back together.
Yeah, because they were in what is it, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
Yes.
Nice.
And I think also I remember Tyrus Burgess has been in some other like kids stuff. What was he in?
He was in the 2019 Adams Family movie. Um, the the one where Allison Jamie was like trying to like she was like a home decor like influencer or whatever, and she was pissed that like the Adamses had shown up and like ruined her property value. Um, and he was her like assistant in it, which is
Oh,
pretty
he was
funny.
also in Elena of Avalor. I remember because I watched the episode he was in because he sings a song and he like has what and he has such a great voice.
He does have a great voice.
I was like, that voice sounds familiar, and I'm like, oh wait, it's Titus because he plays a volcanic rock monster, and he sings
Oh,
about like how he gets so frustrated and angry, and it's like, oh, this is such a good song. It's like one of the
he's
best songs in that series.
he's also in the musical animated series by the people who made Bob's Burgers, Central Park.
Oh
He plays the
yeah,
son.
I think he started. Yeah, he started off, I think, in Broadway before he became like television. Because
Mhm.
I think his like breakout role was him in Kimmy Schmidt. But of course, Neil Patrick Harris has also been in a lot of stuff for kids. He's been on Sesame Street multiple times. Um, and I think it does suck that it's going to be on Paramount, but it's like this would, and I'm not going to be able to watch it. But I'm not surprised that
Yeah, I
they're
canceled my
making.
subscription months ago.
I'm not
Singing in
surprised
the high
they're.
seas.
Mhm. I'm not surprised they're making a series based off the books because they are extremely popular. Like he has sold books like in the millions, and he
Mhm.
even made a Christmas version of "Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus." It's "Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Sleigh."
Like that.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I also know Neil Patrick Harris also voiced Deadpool in that VR game.
Oh, he did. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
surprisingly.
Uh, he's done quite a few voice roles, actually.
I know he has.
Yeah. All right. So next up, I think is me. And apparently, Ian McKellen and Elijah Wood return for uh the new Lord of the Rings series, The Hunt for Gollum.
Oh yeah,
And
that movie.
Not sure
they
how to feel about this.
I honestly, it's a series, not
Oh, it's a series?
is it a movie? I don't know. Is it a movie?
I
I'm
thought it
looking.
was going to be a movie.
It's
Oh,
gonna be a
it is a
movie.
Oh
movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is a movie. Okay. I yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this either. I think that it's a little interesting slash weird that they like brought most of the cast back, but apparently not Viggo Mortenstein as, Aragorn, and I'm not exactly sure why that is.
It might
If
be that he doesn't
if
want
he yeah,
to.
I didn't know if he didn't want to or if they just like didn't for some reason.
Well, I was also going to say that there could possibly be something else he's working on because it almost, or he could have just kind of like retired because I feel like that's what he did after like the Lord of the Rings movies. He was just like, yeah, I'm good because he hasn't really been
Yeah.
in anything recently.
Yeah, that's fair. And I guess this is, as the title kind of implies, set this film
Like,
will chronicle the search for the titular corrupted hobbit in the years leading up to the trilogy's first installment. So like I guess between um The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings,
like it's supposed
which go ahead.
like it's supposed to be based on a short story that was unfinished by
Tolkien.
yeah, Tolkien. And
Because
then
this kind of I'm not sure how I feel about it because it's like one of those IPs where it's kind of like, do we need more of this?
No, the answer is no.
I,
So here's the thing about like the Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings trilogy ended perfectly, and I feel like every attempt to take us back to the world Tolkien created has not worked. They have
mhm.
tried, and it seems like all of them have just like I haven't watched Rings of Power, but I've heard a lot of like mixed reviews about it. They had an animated movie that didn't do well. I know the Hobbit trilogy also was sort of eh.
well,
I
I'm not
watched like
surprised they tried with The Hobbit since The Hobbit came first and stuff. Like,
But split it into 3 movies.
that was kind of weird.
they really didn't need to.
No,
It
they
feels like
really
they just sort of drag because I remember reading The Hobbit, and I remember when I heard this, I'm like, how the heck are they gonna like make this into 3 movies because it's long, but it is not as long as the Lord of the Rings books are, like the
Yeah.
main 3.
I did heard that Peter Jackson will be adapting and making a new Lord of the Rings movie based on a script by Stephen Colbert, though.
Weird.
Yeah, like Stephen Colbert, that's going to be his next project once this show ends.
So
He's
yeah,
a big
Wow.
diehard Tolkien fan.
I don't know. I just feel like this is one franchise they need to stop trying to revive. It hasn't. See, and the thing is I think the only reason Warner Brothers is doing this is because, as we have mentioned, they're in debt. And like, I think in the last, like, what, 2 years, I think their only really big successes have been Barbie, the Minecraft movie, and was Oppenheimer them?
No, that was Universal.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, Oppenheimer was Universal. So it's just, I don't know. I feel like I really don't want people to think I'm trying to be like, oh, I never watch remakes or reboots. It's like I do. It's just the problem is I have become a lot pickier over the past few years because almost every other thing is either a reboot or reimagining or and I really feel like it's just they're trying. It hasn't worked when it has come to Lord of the Rings for some reason, and I think they should just give up at this point.
I mean, it's also not really a reboot or reimagining. It's like this other thing that they keep doing with series is where it's like they make more spin-offs that like cover a part in the story either like before or after, occasionally simultaneous to like whatever the OG was, and that doesn't always work.
Yeah, we don't need to know everything, It just
Mhm.
yeah. So I'm not really 100% here for this. There's a chance it could be good, but it's just they've been having a lot more misses than hits. So this is you, Jad.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey and Pedro Pascal star in an upcoming Western thriller, The Brigands of Rattle Creek, Haynes Market Heart Project. Let's see.
So let's
Oh,
see.
sorry.
This is, I think, from what I remember, yeah, Park Chan Wook is now the new president of the Cannes Film Festival.
Hmm.
Interesting.
hmm So this is a passion project of his called The Brigands of Rattle Creek, and we have Matthew McConaughey, Austin Butler, Pedro Pascal, and Tang Wei, a Chinese star. Um, the original screenplay is going to be by Craig Zaleher. Let's see, it's about a sheriff and a
She's
doctor.
gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
About to follow a sheriff and a doctor who seek revenge against a group of bandits. I think this might be his first film. I don't know if he's a director. Let me check.
Park Chan-wook.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
neat.
isn't he?
Oh, he did Old Boy
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
and The Handmaiden. Okay. I was okay, yeah. Yeah, so this is somebody who has, he has some directing chops, but and it seems like he kind of like his first international came from like with The Handmaiden. I think Old Boy was sort of discovered later. Um
Old
and then
Boy was popular with people who were already kind of like enthusiasts of like Korean and or Japanese film or had read the original manga. Like I knew of Old Boy. It's considered one of like the biggest twists, like sickest twists in an like East Asian movie, and I adored it. It was very well done in my opinion. But he obviously really likes like revenge plots. Like that's definitely something that shows up in a lot of his work.
mhm. So this sounds like right up his alley. It sounds very
Yeah.
westernish.
That's
Okay.
yeah.
Who was Oh, it's me. So I have yet to watch White Lotus. I heard it's really good. I just haven't gotten a chance to, but it seems that for some reason Helena Bottom Carter is now leaving.
Huh.
Okay. So let me see. So apparently this is rare. They're saying that this is like the people behind the casting for White Lotus are very meticulous about the casting process, and it seems as if the like from what they're saying, it seems like the character didn't. Okay, with filming just underway in season 4, it had become apparent that the character, which Mike Hart created for Helen Barner, did not align once on set. The role has subsequently been rethought, it's being rewritten, and will be cast in the coming weeks. So normally, I feel like this doesn't happen unless there's something that happened behind the set, behind the scenes. But it doesn't seem like there's a lot of details.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't expect them to be very straightforward about that sort
Mhm.
of thing. Like the pit just basically announced Supriya Ganesh, who plays Samira Mohan's departure. Um, and everything looks very hinky with regards to that. Like she wasn't aware they we're already like getting things together for season 3. She was not aware that and that she wasn't gonna like get called back, that she was being written out. Um they they just haven't, it seems like they weren't straightforward with them at all. And uh it also is a very fucking bad look that this is the second woman of color they've written off in 2 seasons. And also, she's one of the cast members who's been extremely outspoken with regard to Palestine.
Yeah, it also seems just like I agree. Like it doesn't like the reason like it's like, they're saying a lot of stuff, but it also feels like they're not saying anything. It just something about this kind of feels weird to me, and I have a
Mhm.
distinct feeling we're later going to find out what exactly happened because something about this just feels.
The thing that's really annoyed me about like that whole thing is that in a lot of the interviews, they're basically like, well, in the medical world or whatever, like it's a teaching hospital, and they cycle through interns and as they move on to like and residents as they move on to like different opportunities and blah blah blah. And they're making it sound like, it's like it was out of their hands somehow. Like I don't know how to tell you guys, but you write the show.
Yeah, they're the ones in charge.
Like,
Yeah, it
This looks
just
like a shit show from what I'm hearing.
yeah. So okay, so then Luffy, you added this.
oh, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle. So he has decided, I guess, that he doesn't. He's mad that um, Republicans, quote unquote, politicized his trans jokes or whatever. He said, I did resent the Republican Party ran on transgender jokes. I feel like they were doing a weaponized version
Oh God.
of what I was doing, and that's not what I was doing. And it's like,
Making
I
jokes that the humanized minority has consequences. Who would have thought?
there's two aspects of this that really pissed me off. Like one, that's exactly what you were doing, you motherfucker. Like
You
he'll
should
be
have
like, oh,
teamed tough on one of your stand-ups. What do you thought was gonna happen?
like it was fun. I was just, you like being a bigot for fun. They're like doing it for real or whatever. Like, and two, you literally, well known, we know this happened, walked off the Chappelle show because you didn't like that racists were co-opting your jokes. This is the like first time I'll give you. Second time, you should fucking know better by now. Like,
this man is a grown ass adult too. I hate it when like I hate this. Like, dude, you knew what you were saying. It's not like you were misspeaking in any of these situations. You knew what you were doing. Come on, this is ridiculous.
it's just, it feels like he's basically saying that it was fine. It was fine when he mocked trans people, like the idea that he wasn't politicizing, like that they're politicizing it or whatever. And it's like, none of that would have been okay, even if that didn't happen to your jokes, bestie. Like you were being a transphobe and like, fueling that culture. And just because you're mad at the friends that you apparently made in this time period, like he also essentially said that people are only mad at him for participating in the Rooty comic book, like comic fest or whatever, because he's black.
What?
And he's basically like, it's not. I don't see them going after like white comedians or whatever. I'm like, I'm sorry, but the one that I've heard get the most shit is Bill Burr.
Yeah.
I
But
think
also,
that the go ahead.
again, this is not a like where we have a child who does not understand what they're saying. This is a grown-ass man. He knew what he was saying. He also knew that it was going to be polarizing.
Very true. And I think like in the case of the Rooty like comic festival or whatever, a lot of the sentiments I saw with regard to Chappelle was, this doesn't surprise me. Essentially, like at this point, this does not surprise me that he would participate in this. Whereas with some of the other comedians that did, they were like, I feel betrayed. I thought this person was a decent human,
Mm-hmm. It seems like he's trying to avoid accountability, but it's not working like I guess he thought it would be. Or maybe he's just realizing that like, being with having like MAGA's fans is not the best idea. It's not as, because eventually they, it doesn't, what's the word I'm looking for? It's no longer
Not a long-term
yeah.
plan.
Yeah, it's not a long-term plan.
Yeah, because eventually you're going to realize that your audience not only includes transphobes, but a shit ton of racists too.
Yeah. I think he's just realizing he made a mistake, but now it's a little too late. And also, I'm just going to say this. I don't think Dave Chappelle has really been one of those people who has been able to stay relevant. And now he's scrambling.
Like, I also think it's telling that there have been some rumors that they are possibly like rebooting the Chappelle show on, I forget which network they were discussing doing that with. So I can't help but wonder if this is like him trying to clean up his image or whatever. But like, I feel especially bitter because like at Netflix, they promoted his stupid special, like The Closer and The Dreamer, both of which had like a bunch of transphobic jokes. And I don't know if you recall, but they had a Netflix employee, a trans femme employee, on her personal Twitter said that she was pissed about it and got fired. And they had a walkout, and another trans employee who had helped organize that walkout also got fired. Oh, so like, fuck Netflix and fuck Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. And again, it's just, here's the thing. Dave Chappelle is like I hate to admit it, but he was a very iconic comedian back in his heyday, but it's just, you can't recapture lightning in a bottle. And with what he's said about like the trans community, it's like, and and the thing is over the years people can educate themselves, and I have seen lots of people who like were maybe like neutral or something. It's just started to be like, okay, you know what? This isn't funny anymore. It's just coming off as cruel, and you're also just beating a dead horse at this point, So it's like, this does feel very like, the show's coming up. I need to get back on, I need to get people back on my side, but I don't think it's going to work.
I also think that you can be iconic and not necessarily talented and or funny. Like, for many years, the public thought Dane Cook was funny, and I don't know why.
Jeez, I don't know why either. All right. So let's see. Yeah. So You suck, Dave Chappelle. Go away. We don't want you here.
Okay,
And I
let's
think you're
see.
next, Chad.
Oh yeah, screenwriters union reached a deal with Hollywood studios, approving a 4-year contract. Okay, so this vote was
Screenwriters.
overwhelming, ratified a 4-year agreement, bringing an end to a smooth and quick process. As that ball a long strike to the last time. Union said 90% of the union voted in favor of the deal. Yeah, and was here's now shift to negotiation with actors and directors. I
Nice.
see the gains in face of industry contraction and runaway healthcare cost inflation. We're also able to secure a contract that returns our health fund to a sustainable path and builds on gains from the 2023 strike. The deal reflects a collaborative approach that supports both writers and the industry's long-term sustainability. A stark contrast to the consensus contract negotiations from 2023, and the SAG-AFTRA union is still negotiating a new contract, so we'll see how that goes. While the Directors Guild will begin their talks on May 11th. But yeah, I'm glad they got healthcare out of this, at least.
Me
Oh
too.
yeah. Especially with the way things are. Things are now like so expensive. But the fact that it took them like 3 weeks to come to an agreement, it's like, what the heck were you guys talking about? Were you just like arguing with them? It's like them saying, hey, we would like healthcare. Were you guys just like, we don't know?
It's probably like that they were nailing out like every teeny little detail. Because the thing is, like, if you are a representative / union member, you know that companies are going to try to weasel out of the stupidest shit. So you want to make sure everything is in what is in writing so that they can't do that.
Yeah. And I have a feeling also just with the way things are, they've had to also introduce more issues, like, with the rise of AI and everything, they've had to probably add a bunch of other stuff like that. So it was probably very exhausting, but at least, it seems like this is a good deal. And it seems like the SAG-AFTRA union is still negotiating the new contract, which I have a feeling that is also going to have a lot of meetings and everything. But it's just so nice to know that there's some good news. It feels like the entertainment industry is like on fire.
Yeah. So speaking of shows and things and universes that should maybe stop for a fucking second.
Okay. Netflix said Scooby-Doo Origins live action series production begins in Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah. So apparently, we are once again getting another Scooby-Doo origin story.
We don't need.
Yeah, that's starring Tanner Hagen and McKenna Grace. Abby Ryder Forston and Maxwell Jenkins. And I think that I have finally entered the like phase of my adulthood where I'm reading like actor names of young actors and being, who the fuck?
The only one I know is McKenna Grace.
Yeah, like
I haven't heard of any of the other people.
Me either. And Netflix has a bad habit of also like casting influencers that are talentless, like Addison Rae, whatever his name, that guy's name is. But like, I don't think we need yet another origin story. I really, truly do not. I can't help but wonder if they're going to try to do something like they did with like the Sabrina or series or the Winx Club series where they try to make it unnecessarily dark.
Please, no. Please, no. And here's the thing. Oh, go ahead, Jad.
It says here that the plot revolves around a lost Great Dane puppy that may have been a witness to a supernatural murder. So
okay,
maybe.
So Scooby is gonna be in this. Okay.
Yep, we just don't see what he looks like yet.
So here's the thing. They did do a kind of series story with Scooby-Doo called Scooby-Doo Apocalypse, and everybody loved that. But for some reason, it seems like they cannot, I guess, do what the Scooby-Doo Apocalypse book did, because every time they try to do this dark retelling of Scooby-Doo, it doesn't work. They tried it with Velma, and that was a massive failure. Um, but and again, it's as I've said, it's just I think I love Scooby Doo. This is coming from someone who grew up with Scooby Doo. It's one of my favorite uh old cartoons. I'm kind of tired of this. I really feel like they need to give the Great Dane a nap. Just let him let him rest for just a little bit.
Let him rest.
We don't need to keep doing
You
this.
have so many other Hanna-Barbera characters you can always use.
Exactly. Do something with the Flintstones. You haven't done something with the Flintstones in years, or the Jetsons. There's a bunch of really obscure Hanna-Barbera properties they could use to do something interesting with them. It's just, I don't know. And here's the thing: it could be great. I'm a person who wants to be fair. I was someone who also watched the first episode of Emma, the first 2 episodes, so I could be fair and say, yeah, this is bad. But I'm just I'm exhausted. I'm bored. I don't want no more. I don't want no more. I'm done. No, thank you.
I'm also just really, really, really tired of origin stories. Why does every Scooby-Doo in particular, but a lot of things have to be an origin story?
Especially when we know the characters.
And they always, want to switch little things around here or there or whatever. But it's I'm tired of it. Part of the reason that I appreciated James Gunn's Superman movie was that it was not a goddamn origin story.
I know. It was so refreshing. Wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I know the origin of Superman. Thank you for acknowledging that.
And the thing is, it's different when it's a completely new character or a character people don't know about. It's different. When we got the Guardians of the Galaxy, nobody knew who they were. Black Panther had never had a movie. Captain Marvel never had Wonder Woman never had a movie. It's those were origin stories because their stories are not as well known as Superman. So it's different when it's a character we don't know. Everybody knows the Scooby-Doo characters. We don't need their origins.
And apparently they're working on a Scooby-Doo anime starring Scooby and Shaggy where they get wrapped up in Japan and with the plot centered around yokai.
See, now that sounds like fun.
Is it an isekai or they're actually
They're actually
in Japan.
In Japan, yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Right. So after lots of ranting, it is now time to get to recommendations. I'm going to let our guest go first.
Oh, okay. My recommendations this time around are this has been on my to read for ages, but I just started and completely caught up with the Apothecary Diaries manga in a day. It's very good. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't heard about it, it centers around a the Imperial Chinese court, starring a girl named Mao Mao, who is as the title suggests, an apothecary. And it's kind of a mix of medical mystery and political intrigue. So if you like complex plots of the inner workings of royalty set on the backdrop of the inner court where all the concubines and courtesans and whatnot live, then I think this is a fun one. I really like the characters. The art's fantastic. I was intrigued enough to finish it in a day, to catch up in a day. So it's
so good. It's worth it.
So,
I understand why
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I've also recommended but I remember the first time I watched it and I saw Mao Mao, I'm like, she is autistic. And I mean that in the best way possible. Mao Mao is such a fun and unique, like, female anime protagonist. She is so much fun, and her relationship with her romantic interest is very fun.
Yeah, I like that she's very I wouldn't say it's impossible to read her even as Arrow, like if that's so your decision, like because she really only cares about like, plants and medicines and
Oh, the anime's on
Poisons.
Disney Plus.
You gotta
just
watch it, Jad. It's fantastic.
I'm putting it on my watch list right now.
um okay, and my second one is Malcolm in the Middle. Life is unfair. So when
Oh,
they
yeah, I heard
announced
good things about this.
that they were going to do like a miniseries reboot of Malcolm in the Middle, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna, don't know if it's gonna be any good. And uh, then I heard that they were going to be recasting Eric Persullivan, but that's because he chose not to come back. Who played Dewey, and Dewey was like hands down my favorite. So I was a little sad about that. But when it came out, I watched it all in like a day. It's 4 episodes long. The backdrop for the plot is that it has been like 16 years, and Malcolm is graduated and works uh, in like a charity organization, and also essentially has like little to no contact with his family because he knows that he's like kind of insane around them and thinks that being separated from them is better. But he's also a father, a single father to a 16-year-old girl, Leah, that he never told his family about.
Oh,
He
no.
told, or her, he told her that his parents were dead, and he just never told his parents that she existed at all.
Oh, my God.
And
That's messed up. Oh my gosh.
like the reunion plot, like the whole thing is that it's upcoming on Lois and Hal's 40th anniversary, and they want Malcolm to be there. And during trying to make sure that he comes, they learn about Leah. And like I was very surprised how this this miniseries managed to keep the same cadence of the show. As like everybody felt, they felt like they were a logical progression for those characters, like that it didn't feel like it like their character changes and their life choices were like out of left field or anything like that. um their youngest child they made non-binary, which I am obsessed with. I
Nice.
love that. uh Bryan Cranston immediately fell back into Hal with gusto. They started putting that man in situations automatically, and he's still just as good at that as he's ever been. Like they used to always like they joked one time like in an interview that they used to write really like crazy shit just to see if he would ever refuse to do anything, and he just never did. Like they covered him in bees in an episode, and he was just like, okay, those are actual bees. They weren't like he
Bryan
was actually,
Cranston just is here. He's like, okay, we ball.
yeah, that is that essentially that's like, and they immediately leapt into that with him like in this too. And I just like, I was really impressed that they managed to make it not only as funny and well paced as the original, but like very heartfelt at moments too. And I am a big fan of the OG series. I also liked that they had Malcolm's daughter be very much like him, and she also like turns and randomly talks to the camera the way that like he does like in the OG series.
That's
And
awesome.
they also had a female cover band remake the They Might Be Giants theme song, "You're Not the Boss of Me
Just me now.
Now."
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
like as I think as a tribute to like Leah and like her character being involved. And I was impressed, especially because a lot of the actors in it are coming back to acting after like either retiring or many years of hiatus, like Frankie Muniz and uh Reese's actor, whose name is escaping me right now. I liked it. If you liked the OG series, I suggest watching this. It was a ton of fun, and I someday hope to have a love as beautiful as Hal and Lois.
Like, yeah, they're a really like people think they're crazy. It's like, yeah, but they match each other's freak.
They do, and they're honestly such
It's beautiful.
insanely sweet couple to each other. Like one of
Yeah.
the major plot points is that like Lois spends the entirety repeatedly of it telling Hal that look, I don't uh every day like leading up to the anniversary and after it, you can do whatever thing like you want, like whatever big like gesture you want to do, but the actual day of is me. I'm doing this. I'm in control of all of this. And like she reveals the reason that she was so adamant about all that is because like she spent the last 40 years. Hal's like a very expressive person, and she always feels like he gives her so much and she can never return it. So
Aw.
like she wanted to have the one day where like she could give him something rather than constantly receiving. And I just thought that was very sweet. And it's kind of like the core of the relationship where Lois is often misinterpreted as being kind of like bitchy and controlling, not saying she's not controlling, she is. But like in that she really genuinely does love her husband and
Mhm.
like wants to be able to express things the way that he can and stuff like that. Cause like Hal immediately in one of the opening scenes does a full like flash mob with his fucking acapella band in the middle of like a Costco. Like, because why not? I just I thought it was great. I enjoyed that more characters that I thought they would let grew up to be gay too, and that I appreciated. I did not expect gay Stevie Carnarvon, but I'm so here for it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch this, so I will get a chance to I will try to, watch this when I get a chance. Jad, do you wanna go next, or do you want me
Okay,
to go
I'll go
next?
next. My
Alrighty.
first one is a game I've been hooked on recently. It's a remake of Resident Evil 2. Now, I've been trying to get more and more into the horror genre, and John and Rich both had me play Resident Evil 7 for our Let's Play channel Super Bonus Round, and they were getting a kick out of my reactions, especially with how it was compared to 4, 5, and 6, where they were starting to deviate from the survival horror roots. But now Resident Evil is back in as a full-on horror game. The remake of the PlayStation Classic focuses on two different characters. Leon Kennedy, who begins his first day on the job at the Raccoon City Police Department, and Claire Redfield, who's searching for her long lost brother and stars as Agent Chris Redfield. The two paths cross in Raccoon City, which is overrun by a zombie apocalypse, leaving the two of them trapped in the abandoned Raccoon City Police Department building, and where they have to find answers, look for a way out, and most importantly, survive. Because not only are your weapons, resources, and ammunition extremely limited, but also throughout the game, an invincible being known as Mr. X stalks you. So, Like you can't kill him, you can just run away from him and hide from him. Um, like not only is he go in detail, very
Huh.
realistic thanks to Capcom's RE engine, but the sound design will really feel your paranoia. Like when you hear the creaks and winds of the police department building, you know it's because of the ambience or because there's a zombie just running across the corner for you, or Mr. X's boot stomps as he inches closer and closer to you. Oh, so it's not a game aimed to play if you have extreme paranoia or you're jumpy, but yeah, I've been getting more and more into the survival horror genre. And I learned the hard way that you cannot just shoot willy nilly because you gotta know when to fight or run. And I learned that the hard way when I ran out of pistol ammo.
Oh god, that always sucks.
Gotta
Mhm.
know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em.
Okay, let's see. My second recommendation. Well, I figure since we reviewed a dark fantasy movie, I should recommend a good dark fantasy movie, Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes, I love Pan's
Yeah,
Labyrinth.
classic.
Yeah, this people say Hellboy was Guillermo del Toro's breakout movie, but I argue it's Pan's Labyrinth, and it focuses on a small child named Ophelia, whose mother is remarries this warlord tyrant, and her father is extremely abusive and neglectful. Since he doesn't see her as a real child and is more concerned about her about the mother's unplanned pregnancy, so he can have an heir at last. And let's see, let me just pull up the Wikipedia. And so, as an escape, she focuses on a dark fantasy world, but with a fawn as her guide. At
Played by
least I.
our favorite Doug Jones.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it combines very two different genres: dark fantasy and war. Uh, and a lot of people. That's the reason why a lot of people consider this to be a Del Toro's magnum opus and one of the best fantasy movies ever made. It is dark. It shows the brutality of war, but also some creative imagery, like the pale man or a frog just regurgitating its entire body. Okay.
Nice.
And yeah, I consider this to be one of the best films ever.
I think it's also one of Del Toro's best as well, too.
Oh, definitely. And that's saying a lot considering his track record.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think also, if I remember, this movie is getting a re-release because I think its anniversary. One of its anniversaries is coming up.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
it's going to be
remember
the
which
20th
one.
anniversary.
Yes. Jesus, I'm old. Anyways. Okay, so for those of you, I think I've talked about the Moomins on this podcast before. I am obsessed with the Moomins. They are one of the most creatures to have ever creatured, and they've kind of made a comeback in recent years. They had a show. They're going to be doing a movie, but they made a video game called Snufkin Melody of Moomin Valley. Now, Snufkin is not like the main character, but he is basically Moomin Troll's best friend. And each year, the Moomins hibernate, and Snufkin leaves Moomin Valley. But when he comes back, he sees like all these signs of nature saying, "Hey, you can't step here, you can't pick flowers, you can't do anything." Da 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 da. And he's like, "What's going on here?" And Snufkin is very much that rebel against authority type of person, and so he is like basically fighting the establishment while also trying to figure out where Moomin Troll is, because when he goes back to Moomin Valley, he cannot find Moomin. And so I really love this because it is very obvious that the people behind this did their research and understand the characters and the world. Something about like the Moomins remind me a lot, kind of like how Hayao Miyazaki in a way. It's very simple, but it also does cover some very serious subject matters. The characters are very whimsical, but it's in an understated way. And also the music in this is phenomenal. Chef kiss. And the second one is also a game. I haven't been able to really read anything or watch anything new. Called Witchwood. You play as this witch who wears like I think it's a tea kettle or something, and I love her design. She has like these little chicken feet and everything, but she wakes up and this goat's like, "Hey, I need you to get these like 12 souls for me." And she's like, "I don't want to do that." It's like, you kind of promised me that you would." And she's like, "Okay." Like, so you have to go through this world gathering stuff to cast spells in order to capture these 12 wicked souls. And I really love the character designs. They're very reminiscent of like a an old book or something, but also I really love the witch because she's this old granny and she's just officially done. She's like, I am so tired of having to do stuff. Why do I have to do everything for everybody? Um, really great music. It's very interesting. I like so the thing is all 12 of the souls are like based on animals, and I love the designs they did for all the animals. Um, they
Mm.
didn't do that thing where it's like, oh, the cat's female, let's give her long eyelashes and big red lips. Like, nope, it's just a cat dressed like, dressed in clothing. There's none of this let's slather on makeup thing that I hate when they do. I hate it when they do that. She looks like a cat. The pig is a female too, but she just looks like a pig. There's no hair, there's no eyelashes. She just looks like a pig. It's a very short game, but it's still a lot of fun, and I've been enjoying it a lot. I really also like the character designs of the humans. It's just been so much fun. Okay, this was a long one, but
Oh,
as always, I,
definitely.
I
Yeah.
love it when Luffy comes. I love rambling with my fellow friends.
Mhm.
Um, and next week, we're going to be reviewing Yobi the Five-Tailed Fox, a very obscure Korean animated film.
Oh,
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you
see you
for joining us,
next time.
Luffy.
Bye
Anyone up for
bye.
tea?
Okay, bye, everybody.